Nakuha mo po.
Okay, done.
Ayan, okay. Ayan, okay na.
Okay, it's
Sige, record
recording
na.
now. So, I think
Recording na.
hindi ko na antayin si President G kasi kulang tayo sa oras at baka matagalan pa. So, anyway, we will give her part pag once na nakapasok na siya. So, it's nice to see every one of you in such a good mood today. At kung may tatawagin man ako, so please bear with me ha. Impromptu speaker as a replacement for Architect G. And to make our mood even better, I would like to call our BOD, Brian Adorable, for the opening remarks, to give some words to feed our souls and get ourselves energized for our seminar and session for today. So, Architect Brian, alam ko, you're always ready and prepared for this. Go!
Go. Go.
Anyway, since sinabi na nga ni Architect Darwin na bubuksan natin itong webinar natin today, and I hope it's gonna be something fruitful to every one of us. Maybe I can just welcome everyone to this webinar, and hopefully sa lahat ng mga nandito sa Pilipinas, kung saan man kayo ngayon, sana ay magiging makabuluhan tong seminar na to, and I couldn't say further than just to welcome everyone. Kasi di ako nakapaghanda, Darwin.
That's okay because I know Architect Brian is anong tawag ng Toastmaster, so I know he's always ready for any speech, unprepared or prepared. So thank you Brian for your support. Kaya maasahan sa kahit anong panahon. Maraming salamat Architect Brian for the opening remarks and for welcoming us for these 3 events. So please fasten your seatbelt because we have actually 4 events. Number 1 is our webinar to be presented by Architect Dennis Angeles, and number 2 is our product presentation to be represented by Mr. Bilaludin Ahmad, Specification Manager for KNAUF Insulation, and the third one is the 9th GMM General Membership Meeting, and the last one is our UAP 46th Founding Anniversary. So please fasten your seatbelt, take some coffee para patuloy na gising at hindi tulugin dahil may pulis na gigising sa iyo dyan. At ang naka-assign po para sa ating webinar police, walang iba kundi ang ating matapang na si Architect Geoffrey Assis. So thank you Architect Brian for your welcome remarks. Now we are all geared up for our seminar today. We would first like to recognize and acknowledge syempre our guest speaker for the first part for today is Architect Dennis Angeles. Let us hear something about him coming from our CPD chairman, Architect Gali Hasmin. Architect Gali, are you there?
Yeah, okay. Hello everyone. Mag-share muna ako ng screen para sa kanya.
Opo.
Nakita niyo ba?
Yes, sir.
Nakita niyo?
Ang kita.
Kita, gwapong-gwapo eh.
Okay. Gwapong-gwapo ba?
Oo. So,
okay. Our speaker for today is no other than Architect Dennis Angeles. I'm honored to introduce him today. Architect Dennis B. Angeles is a registered architect and also a registered architect for Saudi Council of Engineers. He is a graduate of Far Eastern University with a Bachelor of Science in Architecture. His work's experience spans about 19 years for both design and construction. This includes his current company, Wooden Al Hijailan in Saudi Arabia, where he is holding the position of lead senior technical professional since 2014. He works in various places like Nigeria, Singapore, Libya, and now in Saudi Arabia. His passion for architectural design led him to master the integration of accessibility in his design. Among the codes he uses are BP 344, the latest edition of the American Disability Act, and the provisions of the Saudi Building Code. These are the requirements for all public and private buildings as long as for public use, either new construction, renovation, repair, or change of use need to follow the rules and regulations. Otherwise, building permits will not be approved. Architect Dennis is tasked with making sure that the provisions for accessibility and mobility of persons with disability are code compliant. So ganyan siya ka meticulous sa kanyang profession. So he is an active member of Uap Ksa Epc and the incoming POD for the fiscal year 2021 to 2022. So let's welcome Architect Dennis B. Angeles. The floor is yours.
Okay, Architect Dennis B. Angeles, take it away.
Thank
It's all
you.
yours.
Napaka-heartwarming naman nung introduction na yan. Well, okay. I think Architect Dario, you can start with the webinar. I'll just share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Hindi pa po. Wala kaming nakikita, Architect.
Share my screen. Wait. Screen 1.
Okay,
Yan.
okay na. Nakikita na po namin, Architect. Please proceed.
Okay. Okay. So good afternoon, architects and guests. I'm Architect Dennis Angeles, and I will be your spokesperson for this webinar entitled Batas Pambansa Bilang 344. So, okay, let's start. So, Batas Pambansa Bilang 344, this act was passed by Batasang Pambansa on December 7, 1982. And it was approved on February 25, 1983 and signed by President Ferdinand Marcos. So, BP 344 is also commonly known as accessibility law. It's an act to enhance the mobility of disabled person by requiring certain buildings, institutions, establishments, and public utilities to install facilities and other devices. So, itong BP 344, meron siyang hello?
Narinig ka namin, anak.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, proceed.
Okay. Section 1, actually itong BP 344, meron siyang 4 major sections. Okay. Section 1, in order to promote the realization of the rights of disabled person to participate fully in the social life and the development of the society in which they live and enjoyment of the opportunities and available of other citizens. So technically, itong Section 1 is all about giving equal right for disabled person to experience na yung social life like normal people. So Section 2, in case of public conveyance, devices such as the prominent display of posters or stickers should be used to generate public awareness of the rights of the disabled and foster understanding of their special needs. Special bus stop shall be designed for disabled person. Discriminating against disabled person in carriage or transportation of passengers is hereby declared unlawful. So Section 2 is about signage and public awareness that discriminating people in disabled person is unlawful. So Section 3, the Minister of Public Works and Highways and the Minister of Transportation and Communication, in coordination with the National Commission Disabled Persons, shall prepare the necessary rules and regulations to implement the provision of this act. So technically, this is about the implementation. So Public Works and Highways is the one who was in charge, and with the assistance of the city municipal. Section 4. Any person violating any provision of this act of the rules and regulation promulgated hereunder shall, upon conviction by court of competent jurisdiction, suffer the penalty of imprisonment, not less than 1 month but 1 year, or a fine of 2,000 to 5,000 or both at the discretion of the court. So, meron siyang fine kasi law siya eh. So, ang if you don't follow the rules and regulations, pwede ka ma-imprisonment of 1 month, not more than 1 year, and a fine of 2,000 to 5,000 pesos, or both. Depende na lang sa cases ng kaso mo. Going forward, so BP 344 has rules. So Rule 1, scope and application. Rule 2, minimum requirement for accessibility. Rule 3, specific requirements for building and related structures for public use. Rule 4, requirement for public transportation. And Rule 5, and administration enforcement. So we will tackle all of this, but we will make yung mga non-related sa architecture, medyo papahapyawan na lang natin. So start with Rule 1, scope and application. So start with scope. The provision of these rules and regulations shall apply to the following: public and private buildings and related structure for public use, which shall be constructed, repaired, or renovated. So itong scope, sinasabi rito na public and private buildings, as long as is being used for public use, either newly constructed, repaired, or renovated, shall follow BP 344. So next is street and highways, public utilities, public telephones, public transportation terminals, including those of LRTA. So itong street and highways, technically, ang nag-govern dito yung public works and highways. So nag-a-apply to. So sometimes yung meron tayong site development na pati yung sidewalk is dinidevelop natin para sa pasad. So kailangan natin mag-request ng permits para doon. So kailangan din natin i-comply si BP 344. So public utilities, ito medyo hindi naman related to sa atin, pero maganda na rin daanan lang ng konti. So ito yung public vehicles. So public telephone. So as of now, many of us is using cell phones, no? But still, BP 344 requires public telephones. It's for the handicap. Public, so pag nakita nyo, may public utilities na, may transportation pa again. So ang pinagkaiba nito is this is terminals. So these are like yung mga ports, yung mga LRT stations. So as long as may terminals, so bus station, so it's applicable. So now let's go to the application. Application, no permit for the construction, repair, or renovation of public and private buildings and related structures for public use, whether owned or leased, shall be granted or issued unless the owner therefore shall have provided approval barrier pre-facilities and accessibility features as provided in these rules and in accordance with the following criteria. So it means that same with the NBC natin, yung building code natin, we have to comply with BP 344. Otherwise, hindi mapapasa yung permit natin. So we go to building related structure or newly constructed. So the space where the primary function is served and where facilities, ingress, egress of the building of structure are located, as to make such space accessible to the disabled. So technically, he's mentioning about primary function. So what are those? Primary functions are most likely lobbies. So entrance, lobbies, yun po yun. So also, 10% of the total number of units of government-owned living accommodation shall be accessible and fully usable by disabled person, with any fractional part in excess of 1/2 in the computation, therefore to be considered as one unit. So ito po, kung meron tayong kuwang mga projects from government, housing, so technically, if we yung project natin is 10 units, you have to multiply it by 10%. And that will come as your fully usable disabled person unit. So let's say we have 10 units, multiplied by 10%, you have 1 unit. So if you have 16 units, multiply it by 10, so it will come as 1.6. So it's excess of half already. So it will come as 2 units. So you will have a 14 units normal and a 2 units fully usable. So ingress, egress from the street of the building or structure shall be made accessible. Ito na yung mga ramps, so para sa mga naka-wheelchairs. So ito yung mga sample ng drawing. So ito yung mga curbs. Ito yung mga parking for handicap na or naka-wheelchair that immediately ang rule natin is to as close as possible to the entrance. Wag na natin pahirapan yung mga handicap kasi kung ilalayo pa natin to mahihirapan sila. So just take note of that during the design. So let's go to the buildings and related structures to be repaired or renovated, including change of occupancy. So here, repaired, renovated, and change of occupancy, kailangan din natin i-comply is CBP 344 as long as any function or areas of new design plans or structures to be constructed should be barrier-free. So, mayroon naman tayong exemption doon. So, ano yung exemption? So, repair or renovation work which consists only of heating, ventilating, air conditioning system, including those which may be required only with respect to fire panic and explosion safety for existing spaces, shall not be subjected to requirements for barrier-free facilities and accessibility features. So kung yung mga repair na gagawin nyo is ventilating heating, hindi naman makaka-apekto sa accessibility, so exempted siya, especially dun sa mga i-upgrade. For example, nag-renovate ka, you will upgrade na, kasi requirement ng fire protection, ng fire code na kailangan mo maglagay ng new hose rack or hydrants ng extinguisher. So, yung mga yon is exempted yon, hindi yung kasali sa BP 354. So, streets, highways, and transport-related structures. So, ito yung cutout curbs and ramps should be constructed using non-skid materials with textile surface to aid the sight-impaired and person using wheelchairs. Audiovisual street and sign aids for pedestrian crossing. So again, when we're going to design a site development, so if the road or curb or streets being used for public use, so mag-a-apply si BP 344. So meron tayong mga standard kailangan sundin dyan. So again, we have an exemption to that. Exemption is requirements for accessibility at pedestrian grade separation or overpasses and underpasses may be waived. So actually, during my time na nag-aaral pa ako, naitanong ko sa sarili ko to, na bakit yung mga underground passes dyan sa Quiapo, sa may malapit sa may Lagos Nilad, is wala silang ramps. So ito pala yung sagot, hindi siya kailangan. So pwede siyang i-waive. Now going forward, ito yung mga signage na normally nakikita natin. So ito yung mga requirements para sa signage for handicap. So here you can see the tactile non-skid. So this will alarm the yung mga bulag na mayroong change of grade or change of direction. So napaka-importante nito. Yung sa visual aid naman na nabanggit doon is normally yung mga when you're tatawid ka, di ba meron tayo pinipindot? So minsan makirinig nyo may tumutunog. So yun yung audio visual niya. Okay. Transport vehicle for public use including existing vehicles. So papiawan natin ng konti. No license or franchise of the operation of public buses, passenger boats, ships, and domestic airplanes shall be granted or issued unless the owner or the operator therefore shall provide a designated number of seats and shall have placed audiovisual aids. Government instrumentalities operating passenger trains, including the Light Rail Transit Authority, shall have provided the number of seats for disabled person. So ito yung nire-require nila na mag-provide ng seating para sa handicap. So ito yung I just want to show you yung ako, I think most of you guys may be familiar sa Singapore. So this picture actually, I personally experienced this when I was working in Singapore. Na yung pag nakakita sila na may sasakay na handicap na naka-wheelchair, yung mismong driver ng bus is bababa. Actually, hydraulic tong bus na to. Bababa siya sa certain level, then bababa si driver. Tawag dito, itong ramp is lalabas niya and then itutulak niya papasok si naka-wheelchair. Then actually itong naka-wheelchair, meron pa yung sometimes seat belt dito eh. So then babalik na yan babalik na yung ramp, babalik na si driver. So eto, makikita nyo, eto yung ginagawa sa atin sa Philippines. Nilalagyan lang ng marker na ganito. So makikita mo yung napaka difference ng Singapore to Philippines. Ito po. Sana, I'm hoping na sana magkaroon ng improvement sa Philippines na maging ganito rin. So go public telephones. Okay. For public telephone requirements, at least 1 unit of public telephones for every 4 units shall be accessible to disabled person. Shall be provided with visual aids required, provided that if only 1 public telephone is to be installed in a particular place, the same shall be accessible to disabled. So dito sinasabi niya, so sa every 4 units ng telephone, isa doon is para sa handicap. Ngayon, kung si PLDT ay nag-install ng isa lang, so yun ay dapat maging para sa disabled. So majority o priority is yung handicap or disabled person. So ito matatanong natin, applicable pa ba to? Kasi gumagamit tayo ng mga cellphones right now. But as a requirements, sa batas, kailangan siya kasi you may never know kung kailan mo kailangan. So even in our airports, meron pa rin siya mga phone booths. Hindi na lang siya ganun kadami tulad ng dati. Public terminals, okay. The criteria and accessibility requirements provided for public and private buildings and related structure for public use shall apply to the public transport terminal. So technically, yung kung ano yung requirements ng mga natin applicable sa terminal. So ito makikita nyo, mayroong mga tactile para sa direction. Actually, yung ibang terminals ngayon, naglalagay na sila ng barrier dito. Kasi marami nagpapakamatay, nalulugi yung yung mga tren, nagbabayad sila. So okay, going back to rule 2 na tayo. So before going through, dapat natin malaman kung ano yung disabled person. Ano ba categories ng disabled person? So we can design it properly. Dapat alamin natin. So ito po yung categories. So disabled person under these rules may be classified into those who have impairments requiring confinement of wheelchairs, impairments requiring uses of braces, crutches, artificial supports, impairment of hearing and sight, condition of aging, acquiring congenital mental impairments. So ito po, very very straightforward. Lahat po na naka-wheelchair, so pasok po sa classified as a disabled. So yung po yung may mga naputulan ng paa, na polio, kasali po sila. Yung mga bingi at pipe, ito rin po. Ito po yung condition of aging, ito po yung mga seniors natin. So later, galating din tayo dyan, so magagamit natin si BP 344. Acquiring or congenital mental impairments, ito po yung mga inborn or yung mga mentally challenged. So I think marami sa Pilipinas yan. Yung mga may mga tama. So rule 2, anthropometrics and dimensional data as a guide for design. So since I think since first year pinag-uusapan na natin tong anthropometrics, no? Pero I think yung symbol ng anthropometrics is nabivisualize natin yung nakatayo di ba? Hindi natin, very rare natin na naiisip na, oh, meron pala naka-wheelchair. So ito po yung mga requirements. So ini-implement din po dito sa batas na to. The length of wheelchair varies from 1.1 to 1.3. The width of wheelchair is 0.60 to 0.75. So a circle of 1.5 in diameter is a suitable guide in the planning of wheelchair or turning space. So guys, tandaan po to, itong 1.5, baka lumabas siya sa tanong. So itong 1.5, napaka-importante when we're going to use accessibility. So yan yung parang basic standard natin na every time na magde-design tayo, we have to consider 1.5. Comfortable reach of person confined to wheelchair is 0.70 to 1.20 above the floor and not less than 0.4 from the corner. So there is kasi naka-wheelchair sila, so limited yung reaches nila. So ito po yung magiging basis natin during the design. The comfortable clearance of knee and leg under the table of wheelchair is 0.70. So magagamit natin to sa mga restaurants sometimes kung meron tayong mga designated area para doon. So ito po, makikita nyo, ito yung para mas maintindihan natin, ito po yung visual. So ito makikita nyo rito, nakatayo, and ito yung naka-wheelchair. So 0.60, almost same, 0.60, but there is an 75. Kasi naka-wheelchair siya, so we consider that one. Although dito makikita nyo nakalagay is 1.70 to 1.90, hindi naman po normally height ng mga Pilipino yan. Normally po height ng mga Pilipino is 1.4 to 1.5 only. Kaya makikita nyo rito sa picture na to, nakatingala po si naka-wheelchair. Nagulat na sobrang tangkad. Ito po again, pinapakita natin si 1.5. Ito po yung 360. Ito po yung turning area niya naka-wheelchair. So take note of this when you're doing the design. So okay, so basic planning requirements. So ito yung physical na have to be considered during the design natin. So when we're doing design, we have to consider accessibility. We have to also consider reachability, usability, orientation, safety, workability, and efficiency. So ano ba itong accessibility? Basahin na lang natin, okay? The built environment shall be designed so that it shall be accessible to all people. This means that no criteria shall impede the use of facilities by either handicapped or non-disabled. So accessibility should be for both handicapped and non-disabled. Reachability. Provision shall be adapted and introduced to the physical environment so that as many people or building as possible can reach by all. So again, equal rights of ang pinapatupad dito. Usability. The built environment shall design to that all person, whether disabled or not, may use it. Orientation. Finding a person inside and outside the building or open space shall be made easy for everyone. So it's very difficult para dun sa mga bulag na sometimes wala silang direction. So kailangan natin mag-provide ng mga tactile tiles para ma-guide sila sa exit or entrance. Safety. Designing for safety ensures that people shall be able to move about with less hazard to life and health. Workability and efficiency. The building environment shall be designed to allow disabled citizens to participate and contribute to the mental goals. So ito po yung mga requirement ng physical. So take note po to. I-take note po para sa design natin. So classification of use of occupancy. Occupancy classified by categories enumerated in section 701 of the National Building Code are hereby adopted. So si BP 344 po ay ina-adapt niya kung ano yung nakalagay kay National Building Code as per categories. So, ito pong Rule 3, by the way, nasa Rule 3 na po tayo para sa specific requirements for building and related structure for public use. So, sa CBP 344 po, meron po siya mga certain requirements per each category. So, hindi po lahat ng inyong naka-enlist na rules and regulation kay BP 344 is applicable. So makikita po natin yan sa table. So ito po yung architectural facilities and features. So occupancy classified by categories enumerated in section 701 of the National Building Code are hereby adopted. Again, PD 1096, National Building Code. Ito po yun. Stairs, walkways, corridors, doors and entrances, washroom and toilets, lifts, elevator, ramps, parking areas, switches, controls, buzzers, handrails, threshold, floor finishes, drinking fountain, public telephones, and seating accommodation. So to better understand, we have this law itemized by alphabetically. So ABC may designated alphabetical marking siya. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, hanggang O. So later i-discuss kayo sa section 3 yung kung saan magagamit yon. So but let's proceed with this one. Standard accessibility for special type of facilities. The provision of this section shall apply to the specific type of facilities and identify specific requirements for accessibility and usability which shall be provided for each of the listed occupancy. So ito po yung requirements for seating for wheelchairs. So meron tayong 4 to 50, dalawa po ang kailangan. 51 to 300, 4 po. 301 to 500 is 6. So ang margin niya is from 500, 6 na. So what if mas marami siya? So nandito po yan. So yung mga special facilities is we can say that is auditorium, assembly halls, theaters, and other related as long as merong yung occupancy is marami and is for public use. Seating for disabled shall be accessible from the main lobby to the primary entrances, so together with the related toilet facility. So ito po yung sinasabi na primary function, which is the entrance or lobbies and also the toilet facilities. In all assembly places where seating accommodation is provided, there shall be spaces for disabled person as provided. So if there will be a assembly accommodation, required po na mayroong seating si a disabled person. When the seating capacity exceeds, ito na po yung sinasabi ko na more than 500, an additional wheelchair seating space shall be provided for each total seating capacity, increase of 100 seats. So pag pumalo na siya ng additional 500 seats, we have to add additional 1 seating. So ang minimum niya is from 500 is 6 na. So kung naging 600 siya, automatically we have to add 1. So magiging 7 na po. So readily removable seats may be installed in these spaces when such spaces are not required to accommodate wheelchair users. So here, meron siyang flexibility. So ang sinasabi rito, as long na yung chair mo is removable, that can also serve as a seating for the wheelchair. Basta nare-remove siya. Kasi not normally, in normal days, hindi naman palaging may naka-wheelchair. So yung space na yun, magagamit natin for normal people as long na removable. So pag may dumating na naka-wheelchair, it will be advised, pwede po siyang tanggalin. Si wheelchair po ang pwedeng magpunta doon sa lugar na yon. So, okay, continuing, walkway shall be provided with adequate passage in accordance with the provision of the corridor and circulation system integrating both and vertical access to ingress and level of building shall be provided. So, both vertical and access ingress, kailangan po to. Door and entrances provided here used as entry points and entry lobbies at local points of congregation shall be designed to open easily or accessible from floor to floor or to any point of designation. So meron tayong mga requirements for doors. So yung mga doorknobs, kailangan po yan. May specific type of doorknobs tayong kailangan i-implement. Washroom and toilet shall be accessible and provided with adequate turning spaces. So ito na naman po si 1.5. Magagamit po dyan. So whenever elevator is required, it should be the required provided. Ramp shall be provided as means of access to level of change going to entry points and entrances. That be influenced by condition of local use. Parking area shall be provided with sufficient space for the disabled person to allow easy transfer from car park to ingress and levels. So ito po, nire-require po na magkaroon ng parking space para sa disabled person. So the sizes of that is different from the normal parking area as mentioned in the building code. Meron pong specific requirements na i-discuss natin later. Height above the floor of switches and control shall be in accordance with the provision. So ito po yung reachability. So have to consider yung switches din po. Handrails shall be provided at both sides of the ramps. So mandatory po sa handrails if you going to be used for handicap or for disabled person, dalawa pong railings ang kailangan natin. Floors provided for every route of the wheelchair shall be made of non-skid material. So napaka-importante rin po to. Kailangan po non-skid. Baka naman po umaandar si wheelchair, dumudulas siya pababa. Impis na paabante, bumalik pa siya. So kailangan po ito non-skid, especially kung naulan. Water fountain shall be installed as required. So itong water fountain na po ito is kailangan din po. I think this is drinking fountains. So we go now for the transportation rule 4. By the way, I think I need to share this. Kita po ba yung ano ko? Kita yung PDF?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pakita ko lang pakita ko lang yung kaninang minention sa section 3 para dun sa EBC. So ito po siya. Ito po yung stairs, walkways categorized by marked by alphabetical alphabet letters. So makikita nyo po nito, bigyan na lang po natin ng example kasi napakadami po nito kung i-discuss natin. Very straightforward naman po to. So i-discuss ko lang yung example. So for example, for category 1, group A, single detached, 10% of the total unit. So as mentioned, this might be a public housing, kailangan yung 10%. So ito po yung mga required na dapat nating sundin. So A, B, C, D, E, si F po ay hindi kasama. Ay ano po ba yung F? Ito po yung F, lift and elevator. So kung single detached lang, yung standard ng lift and elevators hindi po required. So hindi po siya kailangan mag-comply as per BP 344. Exempted po siya, hindi po siya required. Yes, pagdating naman po dito hanggang L lang po. So sa single detached hindi po kailangan ng drinking fountains, public telephones, and seating accommodation. Actually, I was making this one but I will share this one. So I think sa group natin o sa mga guests din, mas madaling guidelines kasi ito, mas madali. Pag nakita natin single detached, ano ba yung hindi kailangan? Ito, si lift. Ano ba yung hindi kailangan? Ito. So, ito, most likely pag natapos ko to, I will share to the group. So, para maging guidelines natin. So, going back to the standard of BP 344, under rule 4 na po tayo. So, after this, isang rule na lang, tapos na. Requirements for public transportation. Pahapyawan lang po natin to. Land transportation, this shall be repaired to buses having minimum seating capacity of 50 persons for regular buses and 40 persons for air-conditioned buses. Rail transportation, this shall refer to the 3 railway system in the country. So, dito medyo napa-search ako rito. Architect Darwin, maybe
Yes,
we
sir.
can ask, maybe we can ask someone, maybe kung meron nakakaalam, ano ba tong 3 railway system? Pero sa Pilipinas kung ano tong mga 3 railway system. Baka meron nakakaalam lang sa atin.
Pagkakalam ko yan, yung
LRT,
dalawa,
MRT.
tatlo.
Okay, LRT and MRT is categorized as one, so isa na siya. Any guess? Para actually magugulat kayo, ano to eh, from history natin to eh.
3 railway system.
Train.
Train siya. Okay. So okay, para hindi na tayo matagalan, isabihin ko na rin. Ito po is yung PNR, yung Philippine National Railroad. Ito pong Panay Railway. At po yung North Luzon Railway. Ang pagkakaalam ko dyan, yung PNR na lang po ang gumagana. But now, they have improved it. Yung PNR po is air conditioning na po. So yun lang po. I think familiar kayo dun sa mga terminologies na yun na 3 railways. Pero actually, hindi na applicable yung dalawa. So, okay, moving forward, water transportation, these shall refer to domestic passenger ships, ferry boats, and other water transportation vessels. Air transportation, these shall refer to the domestic passenger airplanes. So ito po ay for public use. So again, even for the transportation, kung hindi sila nagko-comply sa BP 344, no franchise or permit to operate public transportation units shall be granted, issued or renewed unless such units are constructed or renovated in accordance with the requirements. Ito pong standard na to actually is being violated. Bihira na ako makita ng mga public utilities natin na vehicle na mayroong mga space para sa mga handicap or disabled. So ito po yung mga required na seating arrangement, seating for disabled. So for regular buses, 5 designated seats. For first class is 4 designated. Passenger trains is 6 designated. Jeepneys 2 designated. So ito po si Stribo. So domestic shipping allocated on first class basis. So kung analyze po natin, napakadami pong requirements para lang sa pero hindi po nasusunod to. Pero may mga permits pa rin po sila. So, okay, we are now on the Rule 5. Medyo ito magandang topic because very important to na malaman natin. So, administration enforcement. So, the responsibility for administration and enforcement. The Secretary, through the heads of attachment agency of the Department of Public Works and Highways, with the technical assistance of the building's research development staff, shall administer and enforce the provision of these rules and regulations through the city municipal engineers, who shall also act as a local building official pursuant to 477 of RA 7160, otherwise known as a local government code. So, ito po, ang naatasan po na magpasunod nito is si Public Works and Highways. So technically, he isn't responsible for those streets and highways. Now going to the, pagdating naman sa mga buildings, si building officials po, yung mga city engineers po natin, ang mag-handle doon. So ito na po, criminal liability. So magugulat kayo. Etong batas pala na to may criminal liability. So, ito po siya. As stipulated in Section 46 of RA 7277, otherwise known as Magna Carta for Disabled Person, any person who violate the rules and regulations of this act shall be fined and imprisonment. So, meron na fine, meron pang imprisonment pag hindi natin sinunod. So, first violation, a fine of not less than 50,000 pesos but not exceeding 100,000, or imprisonment of not less than 6 months but not more than 2 years. So medyo mabigat, no? 50,000, 100,000. Tapos 6 na buwan hanggang 2 taon. Depende ito sa weight ng kaso mo. For subsequent violation, a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos but not exceeding 200,000 pesos, or imprisonment of not less than 2 years but not more than 6 years. So, nag-violate ka na, hindi ka pa rin nadala, ginawa mo pa rin, ito po yung susunod na penalties mo. Ayun, paano ba nababiolate? Ito po yun. Any person who abuses the privileges granted here shall be punished with imprisonment of not less than 6 months or a fine of not less than 5,000 pesos, but not more than 50,000 pesos, or both at the discretion of the court. So ito po, very basic na normally nating nagagawa. So ano po ba yung abuses? One example is yung designated parking space para sa handicap. Most likely, nowadays, pag pumunta ka sa mall, agawan sa parking eh. So pag may nakita tayo, bakante yung handicap sa parking space, magpapark ako roon, pagbaba ko, pipilay-pilay ako kunyari para hindi ka mahuli. Pero pag napatunayan ka na hindi ka naman pala pilay, ito po, yan ang kaso mo. Pwede ka makulong, pwede ka rin magmulta. So, again, if the violator is a corporation or organization or any similar entity, the official thereof directly involved shall be liable therefore. So, eto na po tayo, pasok na po tayo dito. So, kung yung corporation, organization, or any similar entity, ang mananagot po ay yung directly involved. So, for example, meron tayong si owner nagpagawa ng contract, may pinagawa niya kay contractor. So, hindi niya pinasa yung ginawa ni architect yung design, pumasa sa building permit. Ngayon, sabi ni owner, tanggalin mo to kasi hindi kailangan to para maka-space tayo. So, tinanggal niya yung rampa, for example. Si contractor naman, o sige, kasi makakatipid ako eh. So, ginawa niya yon. So, pagdating ng building officials, yung mag-check, mag-inspector, nakikita na wala yung rampa. Ang mananagot doon, hindi si owner. Yung directly involved, si contractor, kasi nakapirma siya as a contract, siya yung liability ron. So, sometimes that yung architect yun, nag-design and build or yung engineer. So, eto na, punta naman tayo sa if the violator is an alien or a foreigner. Alien, hindi po to yung taga-ibang planeta. Ito po ay yung mga taga-ibang bansa lang. He shall be deported immediately after service of sentence without further deportation proceeding. So napakabigat nito, no? So pag any foreigner na nag-abuse o nag-bully sa mga disabled person, immediately pwede siya ma-deport. Pwede rin siya makulong. After niya makulong, without prior proceedings, balik na siya sa bansa niya. Ganun pong katindi yung batas. Pero I'm not sure kung na-implement sa atin to. So, let's go to, yan na po yung pagtatapos ng ating BP34 po. So, we'll just go through the illustration. So, we'll just explain it very briefly kasi very self-directive naman tong information. Kasi sanay na tayo rito eh. Ito yung mga dimensions. So, ito, sa parking space, kailangan niya ng 3.7 po. Pakitandaan po to. Baka lumabas yan sa tanong na natin. So 3.7 kailangan po. Hindi po to yung mga 2.5 as per building code. So kailangan po siya ng space para sa maneuverability ng bababa na naka-wheelchair. So still 5 meters pa rin po. Ang passageway po siya. Yung passageway is corridor hallway 1.2 po ang minimum. 1.2. Pagdating naman po sa hallway, maximum po siya na travel na 12 meters. Kailangan po na natin magkaroon ng resting or stop. Ito po yung sa mga sidewalks. So, magkakaroon po tayo ng mga recess dito. So dito po, kasi normally, kung may magsasabay ng dalawang ka-wheelchair, yung isa po ay parang lay-by to eh. Magle-lay-by siya dyan, papaandar yung isa, at saka siya babalik. So ito po dito sa signage, so dapat visible siya. Ito po yung mga signage natin. So may bollard po siya for 900 for protection. Ito po yung sizes ng signage and ito po yung height. Now going to the entrance or ramp. So normally ang minimum requirements niya is 1.8 po yung landing if meron po siyang pinto, 1.8 po. And yung width niya is still 1.5 as mentioned, yung 1.5 na turning radius ng wheelchair. So actually we required also before the ramp, we will have a tactile blocks. Ito pong tactile blocks na to is para po to sa mga bulag. Ito po yung magwa-warn sa kanila na there will be a change in grade or change of direction. So ma-alert yung mga bulag. So again, on the ramp, below the ramp, again we need 1.8 requirements. And there will be a railing. So in case na accidentally na lose control si handicap or si wheelchair, hindi po siya dire-diretso sa kalsada, babangga. Ito po yung safety barrier. So si railing po, normally sa NBC, normally ginagawa natin is 0.9. So ganun din po sa BP344. May additional railing kung kailangan na i-implement, which is from 900, we have to measure 200 below. So it's like 700 from the grade. So from the grade, kailangan ng 700 para kapitan niya. Ito, para kapitan ni naka-wheelchair. So also yung handlebar, kung meron siyang wall, kailangan po niya ng space gap na 50 mm. So para fully grip po siya. Actually, normally, dapat ito ginagawa nating standard sa all design eh. So, okay, ito na yung ramp natin. So, may limitation din po sa ramp. Si ramp po ay limited for 6 meters maximum po yan. Yung travel po niya. Ang ating pong slope is 1:12. Pakitandaan po yan. 1:12 po tayo. So may limitation. Hindi porket na-satisfy mo yung 1.12, dumire-diretso ka na. So may limitation po. Pag na-reach mo po ang 6 meter, linear po yan, kailangan mo po mag-provide ng landing, which is 1.5 po. 1.5 po yan. Then you can start again another 6 meters with the gradient of 1:12. And so on. Now going to the toilets. So as mentioned, yung toilets required po ng BP344 for any commercial public use, kailangan po mag-provide para sa mga PWD o disabled person. So ito po yung requirements niya. May minimum requirements po ang toilet. Si toilet po ay kailangan, ang width niya po is 1.7. Pakitandaan po to, 1.7 meters. And meron po siya, palagi po ang door is swing out. Palagi pong swing out. Ang area po dyan, dapat may clearance to 1.5 by 1.5. So ito po yung mga standard urinals, grab bar, at nandito na po. So very straightforward po to. Kailangan nyo na lang sundin. Now, sorry? Okay. Okay, sa door naman, so meron po tayong minimum door requirements which is 0.8. Pakitandaan din po to. Ito po yung kanina 1.2. So dito po makikita nyo, meron po tayong still 900 po sa standard, pero mapapansin nyo yung mga door knob po natin is special, hindi po tayo gumagamit ng normal knob. Ang kailangan po dito yung may mga lever type or handlebar. Kasi po, para po ito sa mga handicap, madali nilang hilahin yung pinto. So, required din po yung kick plate. Pero tataka ka, naka-wheelchair, kick plate, sisipahin ba nila yan? Hindi po. Para rin po ito sa mga protection kasi naka-wheelchair po sila. Para tumatama dyan, maprotektahan din po yung pinto natin. So, actually, ito may mga peephole, no? Yung normal peephole ay nandito po ang height. Ang secondary peephole po, ito po, para po sa mga disabled. So ito po, kailangan po itong i-provide doon sa fully usable unit Dito po mag-a-apply yun, pati pa yung mga switches. So ito na po tayo sa tactile. Ito po meron po tayong dalawang klase. Be aware of this. So yung tactile, yung dotted, yan po ay warning to warning para sa bulag for change of direction. This will be a warning sign para sa mga bulag. Ngayon meron po tayong directional naman. Yung directional tactile which is puro straight. Ito po ay madaling ma-identify ng mga bulag. So, ang turning rin po ng paglalagay ng tactile, kailangan po is 90 degrees lang po ang turning. Hindi po pwedeng pa-swerve. Mawawala po si bulag. Malilito. Kailangan palagi pong straight. So, ito po, napaka-importante nito. So, yung handicap, kailangan po ang maximum travel niya from entrance is 30 meters to the lobby or elevator. 30 meters po. So, turnabout spaces, ito po, 3.5 from dead end. Kailangan magkaroon ng turning, which is 1.5. So, ito po yung mga standard na sizes ng signage. May requirements din po. Kailangan mag-oblige tayo dyan. So, ito yung mga toilets, minimum requirements ng height ng mga laboratory natin, nandito na po. And actually, nasa standard na rin po yan. So, pag mag-design po tayo ng stair na gagamitin para ng handicap, suggested po is slanted. Slanted po yung nosing niya o yung riser. Yan po yung recommendation. Meron din po mga warning tape. And ito po yung tactile po. So, ito rin po yung minimum requirements ng lift is 0.8, same with the door sa standard. Ito po si standard ng sa auditoryo. So, ang rules po niya ay papasok doon sa requirements ng NBC, which is section 7, sa BP 344, sa rule 3 po, sa rule 3. Ito po si telephone booth, ito po yung mga sizes. So now, ito po, sa kalsada po, okay, let's go to sa kalsada. Kung yung kalsada is more than 10 meters, we have to provide what we call a central refuge. Central refuge po to, hindi po to island. Akala ko rin dati ang island ang tawag dito eh. Pero ito palang central refuge ay para po pala sa mga handicap. So, just imagine this is a 10 meters. Of course, we will know yung mga bulag o yung kung walang assistant, mabagal po sila lumakad. So, meron po silang resting sa center. Yan po yung magiging passing through nila. Maghihintay sila dyan, again, going to the next street. So, ito po yung mga standard na pwede nating i-design. Ganyan po. Ito po yung requirements ng curve cutout. So, kailangan po siya 1:12 gradient, 900 yung minimum width. So, ito, just to give you an example ng magandang design when we're doing the site development or community. So, ito po. So, may speed breaker tayo. Ngayon ko lang po nalaman din to, ang tawag dito ay zebra, ang tawag nila dito, zebra crossing, painted zebra crossing. Zebra. Although yung zebra ay sa black and white, ito po ay red and yellow, black and yellow. So again, mayroon po tayo mga warning tactile. Ito po, ganyan po, kung mayroong mga crossing, ganito po ang suggested design. So, Architect Darwin, ito na po yung tapos ng aking pag-report sa webinar na 344. Now I think we will have to go to the question and answer po. So marami po nagpapasalamat po tayong dalawang to sa inyo.
Okay, maraming salamat Architect Dennis Angeles for the refreshment and information para sa BP 344. We've learned so much from you today. So let us move on to the next part, which is the question and answer portion. You can turn on your mic if you want to ask questions. So, para mabilisan po tayo, you can unmute and ask questions. So, I will give you at least 5 questions. So, who will start?
Architect Darwin, ako
Yes,
muna.
sir.
Architect Dennis, yung ano natin, yung details nung railing, meron tayong 0.70 at saka 0.90. Diba doon sa pinakita mong figures.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ito, yung railings natin sa public, diba? Pero parang may nakita ako na meron pang supposed to be na isang railing lower than 70 para doon sa topping rail ng bulag, diba? Pag may bulag, meron siyang hawak na stick.
Oo. Actually, hindi siya railing, base concrete siya actually. Merong standard din yan. Yun po is para dun sa bulag na stick para ma-identify na yung both side.
Oh, di ba meron dapat barrier pa
Oo,
sa
meron yun. May requirements siya. Nasa standard din po ng 344 yun. Sa standard drawing, makikita rin po doon. Naka-illustrated na po yun.
Architect Dennis,
Tama
point
po
1
yan.
yata yun.
Point 1 yun.
Point 1.
Oo.
0.1.
Lalabas ka?
Okay, maraming salamat, Architect Dennis. I think, Architect Dino, salamat. I think na-satisfy ka ng sagot. So, 0.1 po yun, ha? Yung taas ng base concrete. O, sinong pangalawa na magtatanong?
Tatanong lang ako, architect.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Yung naano lang ko sa pinto ng toilet na pinakita kayo na 0.9 tapos sa pinto ng corridor 0.8. Di kaya pareho lang sila point. Sa toilet nakalagay po na 9.
Minimum po yung
Sa
nabanggit.
corridor
Minimum.
0.8.
Corridor po is 1.2.
So ang minimum
1.2 po ang corridor o hallways. Ang mention po doon is minimum. Minimum po yun.
ang minimum.
Ang minimum po
Yung
is
sa toilet
0.8.
ang minimum 0.9.
Opo, 0.9.
Kasi nakalagay doon 0.9. Oo. Sige, yun lang i-clear ko lang.
Okay, maraming salamat. Kasi 0.9 para magkasya pumasok yung wheelchair.
Wheelchair.
Architect Dennis, may may tanong lang. Sa hospital na mga toilets kasi may mga call bell, kumbaga. Just in case of emergency, makakapag-ring sila doon sa mga nurses, sa nurses station. Yung sa mga toilets po, halimbawa sa toilets for disabled person, hindi pa nagpro-provide din po doon ng mga call bell or emergency ring bell, parang ganun. Just in case na natumba sila, ganun, pwedeng may mag-assist.
Oo, yan naman is as a requirement sa hospital. So depende sa use eh. So if it requires, merong height ng switches actually na pinakita. So pwede natin ilagyan yan. Pwede natin lagyan. So it depends on the use of this toilet actually. If that is a requirement for safety, so walang problema doon. It's additional features lang siya. Pero ang mini-mention po natin is for commercial or public use. Not normally, hindi siya na required, hindi siya na mention. Pero if kung sa hospital, syempre weekend yung mga tao. So I think yes. Kailangan lagyan. So considerate natin yan.
Sige po, thank you po.
Okay, the first one.
Meron ba akong question?
Yes, welcome.
Architect Dennis, sa Pilipinas, pagka ba nag-violate, meron na bang mga nakulong diyan o nagbabayad ng mga penalty diyan sa mga violators naman, lalo na sa mga kasi most of yung sa buildings natin walang mga rampa. At saka kung magbigay man ng rampa, parang 45 degrees na yung para lang sila yung ma-meet nila yung requirements. Meron bang mga ganun may mga nahuhuli ba?
To be honestly, di ako aware na may nakulong. To be honestly, even yung paano na-approve yung mga ramps, actually, yung previous dyan. Nagpunta sila ng different location and they measure yung mga requirements. Walang pumasa.
Pero
Sa 10 tinignan nila, walang pumasa. Puro violation. Pero walang kulong.
wala ko lang.
Yun ang
Nagbayad lang.
sadly to say, hindi sila kulong. Yun, hindi na-implement.
Architect Dennis, may isingit lang ako.
Oo.
I guess one factor for that is as you mentioned a while ago, those who are in charge in the implementation of these requirements are engineers. No, I'm not hindi ko sila minamaliit, but I guess the architects are more familiar and very specific with this. Kaya there's a lot of violations lalo na sa Philippines.
And actually I add ko lang kasi yung pag dumating sa kanya-kanyang municipality, si municipal naggagawa siya ng sarili niyang rules and regulation para i-implement dun sa city ordinance niya eh. So yung meron tayong tinatawag diyan na hindi maybe 80% compliance lang ang requirements nila. So ganoon, hindi kailangan lahat. Kasi kung gagawin nila lahat, for example, yung ramps napakalaking kumain ng space niyan eh. So as long na siguro pwedeng lang mag-provide ng ramps lang, wala ng stairs, pwede na yon. So pwedeng gano'n, pwedeng nilang ilibay. Depende na sa mag-upload ng BOD. Ay, ng building officials.
Ay, Architect Dennis. Kasi may question lang ako, yung tungkol sa rampa rin. Kasi actually dinadala ko kasi anak ko sa hospital. Diyan sa may Uni Health, alam ni Architect Luis yun. Yung rampa kasi doon, actually medyo mataas siya. Hindi ka makakaakyat ng undisabled na mag-isa. Yung wheelchair kailangan may magtutulak. So, ano ko lang isa, hindi ba na-penalize yung mismong hospital? Kasi parang useless na yung rampa para sa single disabled na kunya nabibisita for check-up, hindi makakaakyat. And then wala rin tactile tiles sa first ramp hanggang do sa upper ramp.
Ang problema kasi diyan yung implementation natin ng batas actually. So once na approve na yung design, which is compliance lahat, during the implementation ng construction, doon na nagkakagulo eh. So kasi minsan during the construction, gusto ko liitan mo to para lumaki itong space na to, ganyan. So ngayon nilalagyan na lang si inspector naman, ilan ba yung inusog mo? Ganito. Usog lang natin 300. Pero yung 300 na yun, malaking epekto nun sa gradient. So actually, pwede namang makulong kung may magrereklamo. Actually, yun ang style natin sa Pinas eh. Pag walang nagreklamo, walang kaso.
Nababaliwala kasi yung natin, yung law natin regarding sa building code natin. Parang hindi nasusunod, lalo na yung BP 344 na yan.
To be honestly, talagang napakadami. Even doon sa bus station, so yun, requirements sila na meron silang designated area para doon sa waiting area eh. Pero never ako nakakita ng bus station na may waiting area ng wheelchair.
Tapos isa pa di ba yung regarding sa bus, na di ba nakalagay po is kung hindi po masusunod yung regarding sa ng disabled, hindi sila bibigyan ng franchise. Tama ho?
Yes. Correct.
Sa nangyayari ngayon sa EDSA, baliktad ngayon ang ng passenger. Though hindi disabled, pero yung passenger dapat hindi rin nabibigyan ng franchise ang bus.
Yes.
Kasi hindi nila na i-correct yung mga pinto nila.
Actually may kalokohan din yung MMDA dyan eh, di ba? Yung iba ginawa nila ang loading area na yun nasa gitna na ngayon. Pansin mo, doon na nila nasa gitna na yung drop zone nila tapos saka mag-aakyat. So hindi nila nako-consider yun. Actually, yan ang pinaka pangit sa atin kasi hindi nabibigyan ng importansya yung BP 344. Masyado sila nagko-concentrate sa NBC. Pero kung titignan mo, napakalaki ng penalty, no?
Kaya lang.
Napakabigat.
Kaya lang, walang ano.
Barrier lang
Nanguhuli.
kasi sa kanila yun eh. Barrier lang sa kanila.
Pero ang suggest ko lang sa lahat ng architects, implement natin itong mga guidelines and rules. Kasi for example, so matanda, di ba? Lahat naman tayo tatanda. So most likely tayo o yung ating mga relatives makakagamit ng yung features na yon.
Architect Dennis, just to butt in, sorry to interrupt you. So we would like to acknowledge our sponsors from
Okay.
Globe, and just just for our respect, if we can discuss it in our English, so just
Okay.
to feel at home. So you can proceed with our question and answer, and we have still enough time.
I think that's
So
Okay.
questions. You want them to speak in English.
yeah,
No,
So-
Okay.
ako
Sorry,
rin.
I was not aware that they
no,
were here now. They
no worries.
joined.
Yeah,
They
no
joined.
worries. I just
Darwin,
acknowledge.
may clarification lang. Pwede ba?
Yes, proceed.
Architect Dennis, regarding doon sa diameter ng rotation ng wheelchair is 1.5, right?
Yes.
Bakit sa Aramco nire-required nila is 1.524?
Actually, itong BP344 is sa Pilipinas po to. Ito po ay standard natin sa Pilipinas ginawa. So ang sa atin po is 1.5. Maybe dito po sa Saudi, maybe conservative sila, that's why maybe much bigger.
So sa IBC 0 kinuha yun
Maybe.
Sige, thank you. Yun lang.
Who else? Is there any questions? I will give at least last two questions. That I-
Timmy daw meron. Architect Timmy. Nasa chat
Yes.
box daw.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't
Basa
read.
na lang architect
Hindi ko makita eh. Hindi ko makita yung mga chat eh. Bakit lang?
Actually, hindi ko rin makita eh.
Ako na lang
Wala.
muna magtatanong.
Ito meron.
Okay, please proceed.
Timmy, madaling araw po ang schedule.
As per, okay, basahin ko na lang yung question ni Architect Timmy, kararating lang. So, this is in English.
Okay. Paano i-design po ang
Paano i-design po ang pathway ng bulag? It was stated a while ago na kailangan straight para di sila maligaw. Paano po natin i-design kung ang building mismo ay irregular in shape? Are we going to stick na kailangan straight?
Okay, in that case, kung ang design natin is may irregular shape or yung curve, so you may convert it with maybe 45 degree as long as straight pa rin. Kasi actually, the reason why yung design is to be straight or 90 degree turn is because normally ang bulag, ang lakad yan is straight lang. So, as long as you provide a transition na makaka-guide you, bibigay ng direction yung bulag dun sa tactile na makakapa niya, okay yun. But yes, in some case, hindi siya, so ang gagawin, nangyari to, okay. Ito, magandang example. If you go to the cornice in Saudi, I think, okay. If you go to the cornice here in Saudi, may jogging path dyan, pero wala kang makikitang tactile na markings. Ang tactile marking is on the side dome ng fountain, which is yung path doon is way straight. So, what you can do, I think the optional design is to make another pathway, maybe outside or another entrance na straight siya para hindi masira yung design mo na curve. That's one possible of doing that. So magiging dedicated passageway siya para sa handicap or disabled. Iba yung sa normal na tao.
Okay.
By the way nga pala, add ko lang, yung from parking to entrance, ang maximum length na travel po ay maximum po 60 meters. From entrance to lobby naman, 30 meters po.
Excuse me, Architect Dennis.
Oo.
May question na ako. Out of curiosity lang. Nag-discuss ka kasi kanina regarding sa mga anthropometrics sa disabled.
Sa network siguro.
Normal people.
Kasi nilalabas ko nga itong yung tablet ko eh.
Hello?
Architect Gali, naka-open ang mic mo. Naka-open ang mic mo.
Putol din.
Go ahead, Architect Mark. Go ahead.
Okay, related dun sa anthropometrics. Kasi nag-discuss ka kanina regarding sa normal people tsaka sa disabled persons. Meron ba tayong separate anthropometrics sa mga maliliit na tao? Like sa atin pa, yung sinasabi na ano. Kasi sa tingin ko, problema din sila pag sakali yung mga public natin, maliliit sila, 'di ba? So dapat meron din silang yun lang na out of curiosity lang.
Yes, actually correct ka, no? Pero as per standard, wala akong nakita. Walang nakalagay. Pero as an architect, so doon pumapasok yung ating research first na kasi first bago tayo mag-design, alamin natin kung sino ba yung gagamit. So normal people, yung may maliliit. So you have to consider that during your design. But to respond to your question na kung merong standard na wala akong alam eh. Actually yung standard na ginagamit natin sa anthropometric is naka-base sa international, which is matataas na tao. That's why yung minention ko kanina 1.9. That is almost 6 feet. Normally hindi yun applicable sa Pinas.
Hindi naman sila consider na kumbaga hindi naman sila disabled, di ba? Kaya siguro hindi naman sila
kino-consider. Lang ako kasi pag gumagamit sila ng CR tapos yung urinal nasa taas, hirap silang umihi, di ba?
Hindi naman sila disabled. Gumamit sila sa mga pambata.
Ayun, pwede yun. Sana rin yun.
So, di ba yung railing naman naka-design niya sa handicap, yung sa naka-wheelchair. Yung handle niya, di ba, yung railing niya is 0.70. So, naka-design na rin siya sa maliit na tao, di ba?
Oo. Kung yung railing, kasi Architect Jeffrey, hindi lahat ng railing kailangan mo lagyan ng 0.7 from grade to 700. Not unless gagamitin mo siya sa disabled. So, merong mangyayari na yung ramp mo is for service area mo lang. So, hindi kailangan yun.
Okay. So, maraming salamat po sa mga tanong nyo. And Architect Dennis, we really appreciate your contribution sa ating UAP chapter.
Thank you.
For sharing your time and talent or expertise sa bagay na yan. And we couldn't have done this successfully without our participants, of course, our architects and our speaker for the first part, si Architect Dennis Angeles, and of course, of our sponsor, NOF Insulation. And we would like to acknowledge their presence today, represented by Mr. Ali Laskani. He's the Regional Sales Manager of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, and together with Mr. Bilyaluddin Ahmad, Specification Manager ng NOF Insulation. And we would like to thank their time for not just attending, and today they will share to us his technical expertise with regard to their NOF Insulation products. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming the NOF Insulation representative, Mr. Bilyaluddin Ahmad and Mr. Ali Laskani.
Thank you, team.
Yes.
Thank you, team. Thank you for this opportunity, for letting us in your circle and inviting us to share our knowledge, to share our experiences, and to help and create a better world of understanding, better world of energies, and a better world where we live in. So we will be standing tall in front of our kids, saying that we did something great by applying our technology or the knowledge which we have. So I will talk about our team, We have two members over here right now. We have Ali Laskani. He is the regional manager for the Kingdom of Saudi Arab, Bahrain, and Egypt. And with us, we have another specification manager who has been responsible for the Kingdom of UAE, Oman, and Pakistan. Me, myself, I'm the specification manager related to the Kingdom of KSA, Bahrain, and India. So for further ado, I'd like to again wants to thank you again for welcoming us in this event, in this seminar. So we won't be taking much more time of introduction. We'll be starting onto our part. So Knauf Insulation is one of the biggest manufacturer in the world related to the fiberglass and the rock mineral wool product. We, as in the region of Middle East, require this material a lot. So there are understanding of what fiberglass wool and rock mineral wool is. So I'll play a small video of around 2 minutes from our industry, which tells about what the fiberglass is and how it's been manufactured. I believe people can see the screen. If somebody can give me a nod.
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Yeah, we see the screen.
I'll play the video for the Knauf Insulation.
Yes, sir. Proceed, please. We cannot hear an audio. Does it have a sound?
Yes, it does have a sound. I'm trying to
share, maybe you can share your computer sound when you share.
It has been shared by my computer sound.
Yeah.
1 minute. I'll just reshare this one and hope because this is a very interesting video which tells about it. So the sound is there. So just hold on. I'll start with the presentation, then I'll put onto the video. So I'll see what technical things is there. So I apologize for this part because I'm trying to find
no worries.
All of my videos and presentation. Here it is. So if you can see it,
yes, sir, we can see it.
Knauf Insulation. So welcome to Knauf Insulation. What we are the manufacturer of the fiberglass wool. Now, what this fiberglass wool is basically been an insulation which has been put for the purpose of acoustic and for the thermal uses. And where is the industry which has been used? It has been used for all the HVAC external facade, for the internal partitions, above the roofing, underneath the roofing, for giving a better living and better acoustic values. So these are a product which is being manufactured in UAE. We are one of the biggest manufacturing plant in UAE, and we produce insulation material which is different from the other partners. So what is the difference? We do not have a petroleum-based compound in it. We talk about an eco technology. So in the first understanding, when many people comes around that what is the fiberglass wool and what is the difference between the rock mineral wool, so there is a little bit of differences that the rock mineral wool is better or the fiberglass mineral wool better. Plus, both have different application and can be used in the same application as well also. So comparing the part, when you compare a rock mineral wool, if it is 100 kg of rock mineral wool, the same property is being given with the 24 kg. So coming on to the comparison part, fiberization, it is a complete fiberized and hence no unfiberized part or shot in it. So when you go with the rock mineral wool, you feel that it has a lot of dust in it. It has a lot of heavy material on it. That is the short content which tends to disintegrate its thermal values during the course of time. The VOC part, as compared with the rock mineral wool, our fibers have 90% less. Now, talking about the ECOS technology, ECOS technology, what is this? So this product, the fiberglass, is being manufactured with without any petroleum-based compound, and the other rock mineral wool or other fiberglass wool is being manufactured with phenyl formaldehyde. The phenyl formaldehyde, it is a petroleum-based compound. So when you smell it and you breathe it or you work with it, it is very carcinogenic in nature. To avoid that, our industry, Knauf Insulation, has brought the technology by using our insulation, the fiber base, with the binders, which is naturalized in nature. So it does not provide any breathing problem, any carcinogenic problem, and it is very easy to install. It does not have any odors and it does not smell. And the best part is has an adaptation of shape. It can take the shape of the size of the material or where you are going to install. When you're going to compress the rock mineral wool or to any other material, it will start having a deformation on it. So that is the best part for us. Now it has a better in terms of the absorption. It has absorption level much better because it has a better fiber length. So better fiber length, better pockets is being developed. In that, more energy is to be consumed. Coming on to the part of the NRCs, when you have a product in the system, or when you have a wall, when you need to design it for certain NRC values or a certain STC values, as an architect, to make a room well comfortable for the people to live in, for not to hear the noise from outside, you will be recommending anywhere the insulation or the rock mineral wool at around 64 kg. But the same values can be achieved by us in 24 kgs. Now, this is the major difference. The industry in the Middle East is being governed by the rock mineral wool. I see in the market itself, the partition work or the gypsum work is being done by the rock wool. So people over there on the projects are being applying around 100 kg of rock mineral wool. Do you need such a heavy material? That can be done with a 16 kg or 24 kg. The same thing comes with the thermal values also. The thermal values, whatever the property of a 100 kg rock mineral wool is, we can achieve the same thing in a 32 kg or less also. So this is the difference which we are going to put. Coming to the part where this insulation is being used. Our insulation are used everywhere, like automotive, food, beverage industry, multi-retail, farm, agriculture, healthcare, educational, religious, public safety, amusement, vacation, and transportation. Now, you as an architect, you say that yes, insulation is being used everywhere. Then what is the difference between you as Knauf Insulation and other manufacturer? So then I'll say that we are much more different from them, because other manufacturer won't be giving you a certification that the product is biosoluble in nature. What do I mean by biosoluble? If you see the fiberglass, it's basically the fibers bind up together to form an insulation part. So it has fibers of different length, and the same with the rock mineral wool as well also. So when you inhale it, or by mistake it has been inhaled, it is dangerous. But our material with the without the petroleum based compound is 100% natural, and it is 100% not affecting the body itself, because it is abstract in nature. It does not react with any of its part. So it is best for the food and beverage industry. It is best for the multi and retail and healthcare. It's best for the educational system, best for the religious areas where the people are gathering. So if you are having an insulation for your sound and duct liners, where the air will be going inside it and taking that petroleum-based uh, things from it and giving to the people, then it is dangerous in nature. So our product is much more greener than the others. So I talk about our product now. We have different product range which is being used for different parts. Now, talking about the acoustics. What is the acoustics? The acoustic brand is being taken for the gypsum boards. So the gypsum board area for the any drywall area or any area which is being used as a partition or a system, the insulation is to be provided. Now, there are two benefits of the insulation over there. First, the most important insulation for the controlled temperature area is the acoustics. So for that, our product has been there. Second is the thermal values. So the acoustics, what we have the acoustic rolls, the slab, and the bigger, heavier slab. So for our smallest slab, we have a smallest roll, we have our insulation with 16 kg, which gives around 40 to 50 dB, and it is a friction fit. So coming on to this part, this is the acoustic roll. As you can see, there are two pictures, of one of a wall and one of a ceiling. And you can see itself, the thickness of the material with different length, width, area, and the density. So now if you have a 16 kg material, which is to be used with 1.220, so you'll say that why this material is 1.220. If you compare with the market, the product of insulation is over there, comes around 600 in size. So when you cut in between the 1.220, you will be getting a 610 insulation material, which is being directly frictional fit between the channels and strut. Now, this is one of the biggest advantage of the fiberglass wool. Your team members can save money on it, and it gives a better in terms of the absorption, or in terms of its STC values. So we have a 16 kg product which we generally tell to use for the single or double gypsum board wall and for the ceiling itself. Then we have a higher grade product which is being used in different locations. Now, the same thing, you can use it in a wall with the two gypsum board on either side, or with a gypsum board onto a wall. Now, this particular area where you're using the gypsum board on either side either can be a sound wall or a partition wall, and the other area where you're using it for the external areas. Now, this can be a thermal insulation. It protects the building from its thermal escapes. It protects the building from the thermal exposures. That's why the insulation has been provided. So you have the insulation with both the properties. For that, we recommend a 24 kg with 50 or 75 depending on to the wall sizes. Now, as you know, the kingdom is progressing a lot, and because of its progression, so a big progressive attitude towards welcoming everyone, we are grateful to see many big projects in our life in the KSA. Now, there are so many cinemas. There are AMC, MUV, and Vox cinemas. These cinemas, 90% of the cinemas are be done by Kenoff Insulation. Over here, what we give them a system. We give them a system with insulation, with the gypsum walls, to tell that you won't be having any noise outside of the cinemas. So there are Riyadh cinemas, Jeddah area, Dammam, everywhere we have used this insulation system with a 48 kg and a 50 thickness, unfaced. Now this particular is good for around 70 and above NRCs, 70 and above STCs. But when the system is being expanded, it can also achieve an STC of around 80 to 89. So this is one of the best things. And what we do with the architects, we give them the calculation also to prove our theories for the insulation. Coming on to a daily task part, whether to put insulation on your head in terms of the ceiling or no. So many people say that this particular thing is going to be fire and it can catch fire and easily. Basically, it is the encapsulated ceiling tile. And the reason of it is to be placed is just to provide better thermal and acoustics solutions. So we have insulation with encapsulated ceiling tiles with 24 kg, 50 and 25 We have it with different length. Right now, what we are presenting, it is a size of 600 by 600, a small size where the tiles can be easily fit. We have the same one which is to be used for 600 by 1.2 in length, which can be used any other areas also. So this insulation provides the acoustic portion for it. Coming on to a second major part where the insulation is much more required to provide better energy, better consumption, and a better performance. We live in a very hot environment, and to not to get start sweating up, we need better solution. For better solution does not require to pay a lot of electricity. So how we can improve that in a building, how we can make it much greener by providing better insulation from the transport of that energy to it, to us. So we have insulation with a duct wrap, a flexible duct. We have insulation with duct liners. Now, there is a continuous sound in some of the industries, in hospitals also, with a buzz sound. Okay, that has been caused by not providing proper acoustic insulation inside the duct. So these insulation provides a better solution for giving a better comfort. When we studied architect, the first basics of it has been taught to us is that we have to design a building to provide a better life for the occupant. Either it can be a hospital, it can be a school, or it can be a religious purpose. If a person is not getting a better life or better area of sitting or working or his workforce or studying or even for praying, if you are praying in a hot environment, I believe only God will listen and no one else. Because we need such better solution. Better solution are the insulation to provide for good heating controls. And now it has to be safe also. The coronavirus is giving us a stand where we understand what is to be meant to feel, to breathe freely. We are having masks in our pockets, masks in our office, masks in our libraries, everywhere schools are going. But this mask is only going to protect us from the people breathing it. But what we are putting in the environment, we are putting the same petroleum-based compound which has been manufactured for the last 40 years. If you ask any manufacturer, do you have a control on that? They will say it does not have any effect on health because it has been encapsulated. Insulation is being closed, you cannot breathe in. But the insulation which is being provided over here in your duct liners are petroleum based, the yellow foam insulation, and then you are going to breathe that air. Your children are going to breathe that. So to provide a better solution, our technology has been developed with a brown insulation, which is being awarded with Indoor Air Comfort Quality Certification. Now, what is Indoor Air Quality Certification? It is a certification which gives any product being installed in a building will be having better breathability. As the kingdom says about 2030 sustainability rules, the sustainability goals, even the UN 17 goals of the UN, if everyone has heard about it, it talked about a sustainable, breathable, better environment cycle. So for that, UL Green Guard is being given. Us having this certification from the Europe, from the Americans certifying agency, as we are the only one having this certification. Coming on to the product are similar, but instead of having an unfaced product, we are providing a product with an FSK facing. What is this FSK facing? It is a facing which controls the condensation. So we have a duct wrap roll, ultimate duct wrap slab with different thicknesses and different densities. Now, what is the purpose of a duct wrap roll? It will be wrapping all around your duct insulation and onto the areas to control the energy or to buy energy and to avoid any facings droplage on it. So this is the purpose of the duct insulation from the exterior. It will be protected, so the less energy will be consumed from transporting that energy towards the occupant. So the electricity will be also consumed less. So we have a material with a 24 kg, 50 mm with a 10 and 20 meter length, different length sizes. The length sizes are different because they accommodate different types of ducts and installation for it. Then we have a better, higher quality of insulation, which is called duct wrap roll ultimate. So which is a 32 kg. So now the difference between a 24 and a 32 kg is basically the thermal conductivity. So over here you can see 0.035 and 0.033. It gives you a better performance. People say where we installed the 24 kg of duct insulation. I'll say you will be installing this insulation inside the conditioned areas where you have a temperature being controlled, and its whole purpose is to give the energy from one pass to other. And where you will install the 32 kg, 32 kg will be installed into unconditioned areas where no temperature control has been there. The similar thing, what will be installed for the external ducts? For external ducts, we have a system for the 48 kg. Now, for this one, we have one of the best thermal conductivity in the market. If you compare our rock mineral wool brand, then you will be seeing that the same thermal conductivity is being given by 120 and above density product. So comparing yourself 120, 130 kg of rock mineral wool, will it will be good to have a 48 kg fiberglass wool? Because if you compare, you will be having a better pricing in 48 kg. You are saving money. Similar way, it is a very easy application. You just cut the board, apply it by tapes and finish. This is the application of the insulation over there. Coming on to the part of the duct liners, this is the one which I was talking about. Duct liners are the breathable liners. It is installed inside our air conditioning duct. So the air will be coming in contact with our product. And when it is a brown product with the naturalized fibers in it, with no petroleum-based compound, no VOC no VOC on it, it gives better performance. It is much breathable. So if you are in an industry or some places where you start smelling something from the AC, a petroleum thing, or a new insulation being installed, this is because of the insulation which is being used with petroleum-based compound. So we have a product with a 24 kg which comes in the roll. Then we have a 32 kg similar roll effect. It comes with a WGF facing. So now what is the WGF facing? It is a woven glass fabric facing which absorb the acoustics. As you can see over here, it is a black tissue, but it is not the black tissue. It is a woven glass fabric, which is used for providing better acoustics onto the insulation system. Now, your insulation having now gives over here two properties. First, the acoustics. Second is the thermal as well also. So the same thing is killing two birds in one arrow, or two birds with a stone. Coming to the part which is one of the most and biggest areas which has been used of fiber flexible duct is flexible duct connectors. So now you will be having the main line of the insulation, which will be running everywhere like this, and then you will be having connectors out of it for the flexible ducts to give the cold air into different areas where it has been required. So this material has a better solution in terms of its cooling. So it cannot have a rock window wool on it. So we provide a density of 16 kg, 24 kg with different 25 mm, 38 and 50 mm. Now this material is being used everywhere. We are one of the biggest raw material suppliers to many flexible duct factories. And if we can take name Al-Haram, CMS, Focus, Bindasmal, there are so many international names over here in the Middle East and in India and else also. Coming on to the another part, which is the pipe insulation. Now, people see that the pipe insulation is a bit complicated and it is difficult to install. Well, the fiberglass insulation is very easy because it comes in different length, different sizes, and different density and thicknesses. What is available in the market? The availability on the market is 120 kg for the rock window wool. But I will compare my material with the fiberglass. So 120 is equivalent to the 64 kg over here. So whatever the other brand is giving in a heavier density, heavier pricing, we are giving in 64 kg. We have all certification, UL, DCL, conformity, USIP, Indo Air Quality, SASOS, everything we have it. This is the pipe Insulation which has been done for the big lamina mats for the sizes above 600 dias. So these are the insulation which we used over there. Coming on to our last segment, this is for the product which is called as the facade insulation. Now, what is the facade insulation? Facade insulation is the insulation being provided for the skin of the structure. What is the skin? Skin is the facades. It is either be ACP panels, either be any aluminum panels, it will be any marble tiling system, glass, anything. For that, insulation has to be provided because we live in the environment where the temperature rise up to 60 degrees. I didn't feel the luckily 60-degree temperature outside in the Emirates anytime, but I have came across the areas where the temperature is very high. To provide that, you need insulation, and the insulation which is being embedded in the structure. So we provide insulation system which is embedded behind the ACP, behind the glass structures, behind the marble or the tiling system. So these insulation are there. So how it is to be calculated? As per the rules of the law of the land says, any insulation or a building is to be have a certain U values. So what are the U values are? For any external walls, the U value has to be 0.57 watt per meter square Kelvin. And for the roof is 0.3 watt per meter Kelvin. For that, we have different insulation material. We have a facade slab 35, 32. The same thing. This is the 24 kg facade slab. This is the 32 kg and this is the 36 kg. Now, with this one, using with only an ACP panel and a wall system and a 50 mm of insulation is being giving a 0.54 watt per meter Kelvin, which is being used for many region of KSA. Now, the region of KSA is being divided with different heat zones. So you have a different heat zones in Riyadh, in Taif, in central, in the eastern region, or in central Jeddah region, western region. So each zone have different U value requirement. Our product, by having between this, we covers every single region. Now, this product has to have two main properties of it. First, it should be a non-combustible product. Yes, it is a non-combustible product. It is being certified by EN 13501 as A1, class A1 for a 48 kg. And it has been certified by the BS476 as class O non-combustible. We have UL certification for our insulation material, and we have UL certifications for with its facing as well also. Coming to the part for the soffit liners. Now, what is this? The soffit liner is. It is the basically the insulation which is to be used in your parking areas. Now, as an architect, you must have heard about the what we say thermal tunnels. So, what is a thermal tunnel? It is from where one area the heat is being passing from one area to the other areas, and it heat ups the environment for it. Now, what are these areas are? These areas are the parking entrance. So if you see in a mall area, there's a parking entrance which is flowing from one area to the other area. The heat is passing from it from one area to other area. So you need to have insulation being provided onto the base of it. So those areas where you provide insulation on the base of it has to be non-combustible, has to be rigid enough to be secure over there with bolting, with the tapes or any other thing, and to provide better thermal properties. Because the area above that need to be temperature controlled, and the area within it has to be acoustically controlled. To be acoustically controlled, this insulation is being provided. As a senior member of the architects must be facing many problems with the acoustics. What does the building acoustics says? Because this is one of the major questions everywhere. To avoid that building acoustics is just not providing an insulation system in a place. You have to provide the insulation in the series of the segments. Like if you are in a room, the acoustic of that room has to be controlled by the partition wall and from the external walls. So you have to provide insulation for the external walls and for the inside the room. So this is the idea, to avoid these part of noises, sounds coming, people crying, baby crying, or wife shouting, have to be controlled from this insulation. And with that, you can also benefit in by saving monies. So this is what the insulation is. Now, I talk about my certifications. We as the region have all the certification which is being designed for the Eurofins or for the insulation material all over the world. Because as Kenoff Insulation, we are the one of the biggest manufacturing brand for the fiberglass and the rock mold. We have been operating since 1938 in more than 45 countries. We have one of the biggest plant which is started in Malaysia, which gives around 100,000 tons of fiberglass insulation annually and supports the region of Philippines and other areas as well also. We as Kenoff Insulation in the Middle East are located in UAE, manufacturing our product in UAE. Our team members are continuously working with the projects and with the different designers, consultants, and architects. So as your architect, I have one small question for you in one of the slides, that what do you think about this insulation? In 90%, what I am feeling here in the market of KSA, there is a lack of knowledge. There is a lack of practical knowledge, and there is a lack of knowledge of the information for the technology. You must be coming across with many different areas where you feel that this is wrong and this has to be corrected. So if you see this insulation over here, it is a double insulation, double gypsum wall with the insulation, which is unfaced in nature. It does not have any facing on it. Right now, I can take a list of projects, which are using a very heavy insulation, 100 kg of insulation or 60 kg or 70 or 80 kg of insulation with facing in the gypsum wall. So the main purpose is to provide the acoustic solutions is been taken from that. And at the end of the day, nobody remembers anyone. It is being remembered by it has been designed wrong, or it has been designed in a bad manner. So we need to think about it, because my industry is one of the biggest manufacturer for the gypsum as well also. So if I do not provide a better solution, so it is coming back to us. So we feel that this part has to be studied well. Over here, in many projects, if you want, I can give you a list of projects with the specification which has been specified that the insulation to be used in the acoustic with the facing. You do not need facing in the acoustic system. So you have a gypsum over here, you have unfaced insulation to absorb the material. They provide facings that they say that it is for the condensation control. Well, I'll say in a room where it has been air conditioning controlled, the temperature is every time controlled. Do you need insulation with a facing? Or you are just wasting money and then not even providing a better solution? To avoid that, we should understand the use of insulation. The use of insulation is to provide a better comfort, not taking the comfort from us. If the same system is being designed with the facing, then you will be having the same bad knocking noise. So you will be having a lot of reverberation inside the room. You will be having your echoing inside your room. So for avoiding that, this insulation is to be provided. Well, my small presentation has ended. If anyone has any question, I'll come back again with the video, because which I want to play in the start to get you in the mood for what insulation is. But unfortunately, the video didn't play. But it is a 2-minute video. I can explain you the areas, how the material has been made. Any questions, you can give us in the writing corner. our specification manager, Mr. Bruno, and Ali Laskani will take it. I will like an opportunity to give to Ali Laskani to say for 1 minute, because I know we don't have so much of time, but for 1 minute, if Ali Laskani can say something.
Yes, thank you, Bilal. First of all, thanks for everyone to give us opportunity for this seminar. And we are lucky to see everyone even by pictures. Since long time there is no meeting face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
As
another
Bilal,
question.
thank you. As
Thank
Bilal,
you, sir.
Thank you very much.
explain for everyone.
So
I'm
thank you.
here
So
to
thank you, Ali.
support him for anything. Thank you, Bilal.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you very much for this. Any questions? I will see the questions.
Actually, if you want to ask a question, you can unmute your mic so that you can ask the question directly to Mr. Bilad, so we can hear also his answer. So at least we will give at least 5 to 6 questions. You can do it
Yep.
now, please.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Darwin, I have a question.
Can you make your sound louder, sir? So the one who will ask a question. Okay, who will go first?
There is one in the chat box. Can we read
Okay.
it, Architect Darwin?
Okay. One question, Sir Bilal.
Yes.
This one. Is this product approved or certified in Aramco?
Yes, this product is being approved with the distributor, not directly with the Aramco, but our team is working right now in the UAE to get our NIMCOM number and the Aramco number. But
And
with our
also we
distributor,
have,
it is there.
and we have also a partial approval with Aramco Direct as a project by projects, yani. But we don't have a vendor only.
So if you can see, as the project, we are already there, but as a vendor and the vendor ID registration, our product is being registered with the distributor. So we are working with the distributor. We are working to get it another approvals very soon with the Aramco in the coming months. Second question.
Okay. Not only Aramco and Sabic also.
Okay, that's good to know.
That's a good news.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And-
another question, sir, is what is the price difference from typical insulation from your product?
Ali?
At least you will save from 15 to 20 to 25. Sometimes you save more than that. Sometimes you save more than that, because especially if you are going for the acoustic purpose, because our acoustic performance is much higher than Rockwool. So Rockwool, they specify normally 100 kg to achieve 50 dB of sound installation. Okay, we can propose only 16 kg, which is a difference of a price around 45 to 55% from 16 kg glass wool till 100 kg and rock wool. And that's happened in
Okay.
Voco
I think the
hotels,
next-
Voco hotels and holiday hotels in Khobar.
Okay, I think the next question is the same related to the previous one.
Yeah.
What is the difference of your product from Kimco and Saudi Rockwell, or what do you think is the advantages?
See, yes, well, as a glass wool, we are an eco-friendly materials.
Okay,
As a glass wool.
good. So how about from Kimco?
We are, and we have the LEED certificate, which we have a version 4.1, the last version of the LEED. So no one in the area, they have it even.
So that's why you have a certification from LEED.
Yes, we have full certification. UL, as my colleague Bilal, he explained for in the presentation.
Another question is, do you supply materials or do you installation too? Do you do?
No, we supply.
Only supply, huh?
Yeah, we supply for the distributor, but we have recommended people through our distributor.
So there you have a contact that you can recommend for this installation.
Cost-wise, all the details, I believe, our contact details, we will write in the chat for Bilal and me, and we will drop also our business card for everyone.
Yes, sir. Or maybe you can
What
give
is
it
the
to Architect Juni.
cost-wise?
The next question is
Yes.
cost-wise. Is
Yes.
there any chance to use 16 kg per square meter instead of 24 kg per square meter to achieve 0.9 NRC?
I will take that question. Now, the NRC is basically the property of the material. What people have to understand that the wall insulation is to be designed with the STC values. So you can use a 16 kg insulation and still get a better STC by improving its air gap. So if you have a better air gap or you're using a two gypsum board on either side, you can get the STC for it. So yes, you can use a 16 kg STC for it. I have one small again share for the Excel sheet. It is an exercise for you to understand what is the difference between the current manufacturers. We have Kimco, Saudi Rock Wool, Fujairah Rock Wool, and our own Knauf insulation rock mineral wool as well also. So I will share again. It is a small exercise for the
Yeah,
calculation.
I think we will. It's a big help also if you can share to us that one as a
Yeah.
reference.
What we'll do, we'll be sending these documents, small presentation for the community as well also to understand. Now you can see over here, we have the rock mineral wool to glass mineral wool converter. We have the Fujairah, Simcoe, Saudi rock wool and Knauf insulation rock mineral wool. I'm saying that we do manufacture rock mineral wool. We are one of the world's biggest manufacturer. We have 40 factories all over the world. Over here, you see the rock mineral wool starts from the 30 kg. This is the minimum density which you will be getting it. But for us, we provide insulation with 10 kg to 48 kg to 64 to 120 kg. Now, coming to the part which is the most common thing, you have a 100 kg rock mineral wool. So I have a 100 kg rock mineral wool which has a thermal value of around 0.033, and I need this comparison with it with a 32 kg. So what I do, I put my 32 kg over here with the same thermal conductivity, with the same thickness, it gives the same results. Now, if you want this particular to have a comparison with a 16 kg of insulation material, so I can do that. I know the 16 kg, the thermal values are around 0.4041. So when I'm using a 16 kg to 100 kg rock mineral wool, I'm surely getting a bad values, 20% lesser than what the rock mineral wool is. But I'm going to increase the thickness of our insulation material by 75. Now, by increasing a 25 insulation material, I'm 21% more better than the 100 kg rock mineral wool with 50 thickness. So this is the difference. This is the difference I'm talking about. Fiberglass as a technology is better for using in acoustics, in using HVAC, in using building system, and it is better. But what other manufacturer, Kimco, Efico have it, they provide it with petroleum-based compound. We do not provide petroleum-based compound. You can see the strategy which has been there for a better world. What is the for a better world is? For a better world is the representation for us to work in the direction for providing better futures for our kids. So this is some of the exercises, Excel sheets, charts. I like to send it to the team members, and I like to send it to everyone, our data sheet, our areas of contact. You are the basis of everything. You are the architects who are designing futures. So if we are going to work together as Knauf Insulation, it will be great help for us.
Yes, actually you have already one. from Architect Bayani Elton. He will be needing your product. So he's in the chat box. You can get his number and you can contact him in the WhatsApp.
It will be honor for us to be in contact with.
Yes, sir.
So
So
now,
yes.
any
Can I
other
ask
questions?
Mr. Ahmad? Yes, can I ask Mr. Ahmad if they do have the technical team to assist in the design process?
Yes, I'm the technical team member. I'm the heading the technical team. I can come and assist you. I can just come and assess you about the product understanding, but I can also give you the proof of that material utilization. Now, it is a very simple factor with architects and engineers that they say that the basis of this insulation is to just provide thermal properties. So they say that, okay, the bigger the insulation, the better the system will be running with. But I do not agree with that. I say that if my insulation can work with the lesser density or thicknesses, then why don't you use it? Because at the end of the day, you're going to save the cost as well also. So in that saving cost, I give exercises, calculation system for condensation, for heat control, for acoustics, for many other things also. So I can be the part of your design team stating those calculation, stating the calculation for the external facades, for the energy savings. We can do that as also.
Okay.
I'll be sharing email to Eric and these teams also for my contacts, so he can share it from here. I can take it the other numbers. I'll show and try to show again. This video is very important, but if the voice is not coming, so I will explain in this video something on it. Or give me 1 minute. You can ask any other question, or Ali, you can take the lead right now. I'll just play another video. Give me 1 minute.
Yes, guy. I believe I share my business card and the chat. If anyone need for any further information.
I can also say something. Hello, everyone. My name is Bruno. I'm the specification manager with Bilal for the whole of GCC. I just want to add one point, if you allow me, about the difference between our material and rock wool or even Kimco material, because I saw that question being asked before. One big point as well is on LEED certification. With our product, we can help you get easily gold and platinum certification status for LEED buildings, which I think this is also a concern of yours as architect.
Thank you, Bruno. This is one of the major points because we need to think about our credential rating of a building. So our Ecos technology provides 20 LEED point in the credentials. So better the building credentials, the better the taxes will be for the building. And this is coming in the future. If you go in any European country, or people might have worked in any European country, so they will be seeing that if a person have if a building have a better credentials in energy saving or energy rating, so it will be having less insurance or less taxation. So this can be avoided. I believe everyone can see my screen, which is basically Knauf insulation. I'm going to try to play again with the volume. If anyone, just give a nod. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm going to play. Please tell me if you can see the sound.
no, there's no audio. So maybe you can explain, Mr. Ahmad.
Ay na. Pakilock yung door daw, sabi ni...
So I will tell about how the glass mineral wool is being manufactured. So over here, you can see dolomite, borax, soda ash, and sand. And then the 80% of the content of the glass recyclable glass is what the recycled content of the glass. Now, where we get this glass? We get this glass from the building, from external facade, from bottles, from TV screens, mobile, any other glass, which is crushed and used as the raw product. So somebody else's trash is our treasure. And we have a different factory being installed in Jabal Ali to collect the trash from the Emirates to be utilized over there. So as you see, the glass is called as the cullet, which is being put into the conveyors, into the mixture by the trucks. It is coming in a lot of quantity from different regions, and it is in a powdery form. So when you see the powdery form, it can be easily supplied to different chambers. So as you can see over here, this has been glass cullet, which has been sent into a special conveyor belt with the other mixtures into a certain quantity, which is being mixed inside these mixing containers, lifted to the by the conveyor belt into the furnace. Now, what is the purpose of this material? This will be molten into a lava form to form our fibers. So if you have seen there is a cotton candy which is being eaten by our kids, or when I was a kid I was eating cotton candy. So you put the sugar and molten sugar will come out in the fibers form. So same thing is being formed over here. We take the glass content, we heat it at around 1400 to 1350 degrees Celsius, and then it becomes a lava. When it becomes a lava in this high temperature area, it has been transported from different lines. So you can see over here, this lava is being formed. I will send you the link. It is much better than my speaking up. So you see the lava which is going over here, and it goes same like the sugar into the furnace where it will be spun around for the candies or for the fibers for us. Now, the same time, this echoes the binding technology is being used over there. If it is a petroleum-based compound, the same petroleum-based compound will be used, but we make a different insulation material. We make a material which is being used by naturalized product, sugarcane extracts or cellulose. So if you see a burnt sugar, it gives a brown color. That is the color which we achieved by our insulation system. So it is all natural, and it is going to be directly spun inside the fibers where the lava is being there. So you can see the fibers are being dropped down, and this is being dropped down by the hot air and the water. So by this, all the fibers are being concentrated into downward direction to form the fibers in the bed chambers. So all the hot airs, everything is being concentrated towards it down. So when it is spun around, the fibers are being extracted, same like the candies. So the white candy for them, it is us, for us is the fiber insulation. So it is being sprayed with the water foams and many other areas are there. Then it goes onto the conveyor belt. So if you have different conveyors running for it and different spanners for it, you can control it for making it from roll or to board. When it comes in the white fluffy form. Then it is being baked automatically and run. So this is basically the nutshell of our presentation over here. I believe I've given my part. I thank you everyone for giving us. I believe there are 10 more questions. I'll take it this one. Ali Laskani has given his Saudi contact number, and I'll be giving the team UAP also for it. Okay, Mr. Kiran has said we need to cut short. Thank you very much for putting that. And any other question for the product, we can put it. I know I have taken a lot of time from your side. And thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity for giving us, for sharing our experience, sharing our work with you for this great team.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kinof representative. That wraps up our afternoon or evening today for the second part. On behalf of United Architects of the Philippines Eastern Province Chapter, we would like to take our hats off to our sponsor, Kinof Insulation, for being with us today. And before we proceed to give the certificate of appreciation, let us proceed first for the raffle sponsored by Kinof. So there will be lucky 19 architects to be sponsored by Kinof for the National Convention this coming
It's
April.
20.
20, sorry, it will
It's
be 20.
20.
So this is sponsored. This is through our sponsor by sponsor Kinof. So may I call President Geraldine and Architect Joel BP Agaw for the raffle. So
First
that
of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Bilaludi Ahmad, and he is the one I'm coordinating since the last 2 weeks maybe, and we didn't see each other only by email. And hi to you, also hi to you, Mr. Ali Lascani. And also hi to you, Mr. Bruno Santos. Thank you to Architect Eric for introducing you to the team.
Thank
And we
you.
are so much thankful for having you today in our second part of our activity today. And actually, it is our 46th UAP founding anniversary today. We are celebrating that. And right after this, we will be having our GMM General Membership Meeting. So if you want to stay, actually, you are most welcome. But after this, we will be having the raffle for the 20 lucky winners. But it's because it's 19 because we already set one for Architect Eric since he is the one who introduced you to us. So we'd like to give a thank you also to Architect Eric for that. So instead of 20, you will have only 19. But of course, it's 20 that they will be sponsoring to the National Convention. By the way, the one that they will be sponsoring is the Architects National Convention, which will be on April 22 to 24. So the last day for that will be on March 30, the registration. That's why we are sending the list, the 20 list of architects from KSA EPC as delegates to this national convention. So we are so happy and we are so thankful to Kano. It is our first time having you, right? In our UAP group, the United Architects of the Philippines, KSA Eastern Province Chapter. Actually, I can still introduce you to some other chapters in the region. If you would allow me, actually, I'm having in contact with the chapter presidents of, actually in KSA, we still have two other chapters in Riyadh and in Jeddah. And also we have in Bahrain. I don't know if you are able to present also in Bahrain. We have a chapter also there. I can introduce you to them also.
It will
And
be a
I hope this will
introduction.
not be the last, Mr. Bilaludi Ahmad and Mr. Ali, because we still have more of our organization in the coming more activities actually. So this is the fiscal year 2020 to 2021. We still have another fiscal year and more, of course. And I hope that you'll continue to support our team for the coming more years. And of course, we will be in support of you also as architects, and we'll be specifying your products for more of the project. So thank you very much. And
Thank
for
you
that,
very
we'll
much.
be presenting to you our certificate of appreciation.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Ellen Forrest. And our team is everywhere. And I don't want to meet on Zoom and these things. We want to meet in person. So I hope we all get vaccinated soon, ready in our jobs to move out, and the government allow us. We will be hosting dinners, exhibitions, and many other events in the coming year. There were a lot of plans in 2022, but unfortunately, we can't do much. But we are still there. 23 will be another year. 2022 will be a good year for us. Also, we'll be hosting many events like this. We can take other chapters as well also. And thank you very much. I'll take your leave and thank you for the invitation and the appreciation certificate. And please join us on LinkedIn. We do post many activities over there. We will be needing your contact as well also to be a continuous part of your team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. But before you leave, actually, we will be presenting the certificate.
Thank you very much, please. Thank you very much. It's a nice exchange. Thank you very much.
Actually, this this should be actually the certificate should be of appreciation. This is not the right certificate, but I will read. The certificate of appreciation is presented to Mr. Bilaluddin Ahmad, Specification Manager of KNOF Installation KSA Bahrain, for sharing his valuable knowledge as product presenter, partner, sponsor in our 9th GMM and 8th webinar via Zoom with PRC accreditation number ARC 200900111 with 2 CBD units given this 26th day of March 2021, Al Kubar, Eastern Province, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Signed by yours truly, President of KSA EPC, Geraldine G. Swede, our Secretary, Architect Jomi S. Agag, our VP for Programs and Development, Architect Joel Agaw, our VP for Operations, Architect Wilfredo Kalimdim, and our CPD Chairman, Architect Regalado G. Hasmin. Actually, we didn't prepare for Mr. Ali, but we will be sending you also the same certificate, but I will read certificate of appreciation is given to Mr. Ali Laskani for having been with us as a sponsor also from KNOF Installation, and the sales manager for regional sales manager for KSA and Bahrain for his valuable knowledge and presenting to us also in our 9th GMM and 8th webinar via Zoom. So signed also by yours truly and the rest of the team, and also to Mr. Bruno Santos, right? May I just get the complete names of those who are part of your team, huh? So we will be able to present properly your certificates.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Architect G, meron pang.
Yes, who is that?
I take your leave now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kinof. Thank you for your informative information. See you. I hope
you.
this
Thank you
will
for
be the
inviting us.
first
Thank
and
you so
last
much.
webinar.
But
Thank
you
you.
can stay actually if you want to witness the raffle draw of the winners of your sponsor, the sponsor that you'll be taking. If you can stay, it's okay. If not, it's okay also. Okay, now we proceed. Architect Darwin.
So, that's okay na?
Architect Joel, we need to okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kinof. So, tayo na laang para hindi ako maubusan ng English sa baol. So, andiyan pa ba kayo? Gising pa?
Yes.
So,
Actually, Architect
Amen.
Darwin, we'd like to appreciate also or thank you also dito sa ating mga ibang members na hindi taga KSA EPC, no?
Yes.
Medyo marami din sila.
You're most
Salamat po sa
welcome.
inyong pakikinig. Actually, meron po kaming GMM right after this. So, ito na nga po yon. You can stay if you want or if not
Yes.
naman, okay pa rin naman. So, but then, I don't know about CPD kung kailangan kumpletuhin dahil kasama sa 2 CPD points po ang GMM. So, yun po. So, make sure lang po, lalo na sa mga taga KSA EPC to complete the entire activity, konti na lang naman.
Architect Darwin, yung ano ni Architect Dennis, certificates, hindi pa natin na.
Yes, sir. It will be on the next program.
Okay.
Sundan tayo. Inuna lang natin yung sa sponsor kasi alam ko mga busy din yan para makapunta pa sila sa next part nila. So, para maalis yung antok nyo.
Yun.
At mabigyan ng kunting kasiyahan, kaligayahan ng iyong mga buhay. Tawagin po natin sa Architect BP Joel Agaw at Architect Willie for the raffle. Bigyan ng jacket para sa free registration para sa National Convention.
Pwede
Okay.
makakakuha nito dahil may libreng convention.
Okay.
I think nakasama naman lahat ng name, no? Paki-check. Bali 42 lahat. Ang taga-EPC. Okay, Architect Willie. Let's start.
48.
Ikutin mo na.
Kasi may mga... Sabay yung audio nito.
Iba tapos na dyan si
Papagal lang ikot. Paikot-ikot.
Ikot.
Architect Darwin, saan ba yung audio? Baka walang audio to eh.
Wala nga. Hindi naririnig.
Dali lang.
Sige lang, okay lang. Kahit di, okay lang. Ang
Share.
importante yung pangalan.
Okay.
Wala lang sound.
Okay.
Galan mo yung ikot para medyo suspense.
Kaso, 20 yan, 20.
Oh, ikaw na bahala, Architect Willie.
Okay.
Parang alam ko na kung sino mananalo dyan
Hindi mo lang pangalan. Napakaswerte.
Bakit?
Napakaswerte nun.
Dito lang yan. Yan, nasa attendance 48.
Bali...
Pwede. Si Architect MC yan.
May sound, no?
Sigurado na siya.
So, first winner goes to our BP, Architect Emeline Balya, ang ating
Architect
news.
Darwin. Kasi kasama yung mga taga-Kanok doon sa attendance nun eh. Bali ito, yung
okay.
Lang. So, yun lang kasi yung title.
Okay, for the second lucky winner. Ta-da-da-da!
May sound, no? Architect Darwin, no?
Wala. Ako na lang.
Wala.
Ta-da-da-da!
Wala ba tayong sounds dyan?
Oh, oy, ikaw kagad, oh.
Darwin, Fonda.
Tinaya.
Okay, for the lucky second winner goes to walang iba.
May daya.
Si Darwin Bundano.
Yan na. Daya, oh.
Okay, salamat.
Dyan si Job.
Pwede
Si Press
cash
Job
na
na,
lang.
oh. Si Press Job na nakalagay, oh.
Okay, next. Pwede i-cash na lang, convertible to cash.
Sabi ko na, sunod dyan si Job eh.
70 reals. Joke lang.
Si Architect Randy.
Okay, for the third lucky winner.
Thank you. Talaga si
Architect Randy.
Thank you.
Swerte si Architect Randy, palagi rin nabubunot eh.
Ano ba yan? Trip to Hong Kong?
Trip to
Hindi ko nakikinig.
Pang-apat na.
Trip to Busan.
Thank you.
Dito siya.
De La Cruz.
Okay. Ilan na to?
Lima na, Architect Darwin. Architect Willie, pang-lima na.
5, okay. Next.
Ito ang singer ko.
Okay. Alfred Mundihar. Congratulations po for winning the house and lot from UAP. Next. Wheel of names. Sino?
Michael Kabatan.
Oh, Architect Michael Kabatan, welcome and congratulations
Oh my God.
for winning the first prize. Airplane ticket.
Ito na to.
Pampito na, pampito.
Next.
Si Architect Ricky.
Oh, pang
Architect Ricky Paredo.
Thank you.
Mia.
Hey, si Architect Gary.
Pang-siyam.
Wow, thank you.
Uy, Architect Brian.
Congrats, Architect Brian.
Arke Brian. Congrats.
Aywa, so
Congrats.
Pang 10 na.
10. Pang 10.
10 na. Pang 11.
Si Jeffrey na naman.
Jeffrey na naman.
Hindi na mawawala si Jeff.
Salamat.
Yun na eh.
Si Jeffrey, tsaka si...
Yun na, hindi mawawala yan eh.
Architect
Hindi
Mike.
mawawala si Jeff eh.
Pwede na.
Paborito ng rapol.
Meron.
Natatanggap eh.
Bakit? Yan, Estabilo, Romel, sir. Thank you.
Hindi pa rin dumadating.
Pagkasama-samahin na yun, Architect Jeff.
Wow.
Elton.
Pangilan na? 11?
Pang 13 na yon.
Hindi na ba?
Pang 14, number 14.
Pang 13 ngayon.
Oo, number 14 na po. Oh, congratulations, Architect Ronald Estrada.
Dokran Katir.
Yung mga hindi UAP APC member, pwede na raw mag-out or...
Oo, pwede naman. Pwede para hindi na sila masyadong maano.
Anyway, they can still receive their certificate for the CPD, right? Plus
Yes po,
Geraldine?
yes. Yes
Ah,
po.
yes.
Salamat po.
Architect Hill, mapalad. Napakapalad.
Palad.
15 na.
Lalo ka na TV yan eh.
Thank you po, Architect Cesar August. Salamat po.
Yun.
Uy!
Dino Tirona.
Uy, si Architect Dino, kay Rona.
60 na.
Pumasok din.
Lagi si press job pa.
Pangilan na yan, pangilan na.
Ang 17 na po.
Oh, ang 17. Yung last to, sa huli na lang. Joke lang.
Actually, pang 17 pa lang to press.
Opo, pang 17 yan.
Maraming salamat sa ating mga guest architects, and you're always welcome kung meron man kaming seminars. Anytime po.
Wow!
Oh.
As.
18.
Ay, pag hindi na ba? Alam ko
Pang 18 na po yun.
Hindi, ito pa lang yung pang 18 press.
Okay, sige. Sinama ko na kasi si Eric.
Sige, ito last na to.
Oh, last.
So, yung pang 20 natin, si Architect Eric.
Apo.
So, yun, kumpleto na po.
So, congratulations po. Kayo po ay official delegates ng National Convention this coming April 22 to 24. So, pero may gagawin po kayo para ma-register. Kailangan nyo pong mag-register.
Patay.
Kailangan nyo mag-individual registration, tapos i-attach nyo po yung resibo na babayaran muna ni Architect Hill sa Pilipinas. So sa Monday siya magbabayad. Tama ba, Architect Hill? And then, isisend niya sa atin yung copy ng resibo. Tapos, yun po, i-attach nyo dun sa registration. Kasi meron part doon na attach the copy of receipt. Yun. So, yun po. Pero i-endorse din po kayo yung 20 winners dun sa national ni SEC. So, para alam po nila na meron tayong 20 na delegates pa. Pero yung mga iba, of course, pwede rin kayo sumali. Katulad ko, nagbayad na ako. Puti na lang, di pa ako nanalo. So, yun po. So, yun. Yung mga iba na gusto pang sumali, pwede naman. Yun nga lang, di na kayo kasama dito sa 20. So, itong 20, make sure na available po kayo dahil kung hindi naman, pwede nyo namang i-award sa iba na available. So,
Yes po, Architect G. Kasi April 24, nasa bakasyon ako niyan. So, baka hindi ako
Ibigay mo na lang sa akin, Architect.
Bigay ko na lang kung sino ano.
Wala.
Ayan, i-award mo, Architect Brian.
Sino ba? Sino gusto? Pag gano'n na lang.
Sige, kahit sino lang po. Kayo nang
Salamat.
Ayun, may
okay, kay Joff.
Hindi. Joke.
Nahirapan tuloy.
Nagdidigdi ako din. Sa bakasyon ako.
Sino yon?
Ako, nasa bakasyon.
So, hindi ka makaka-attend?
Sa akin. Thank you.
Hindi na.
Isa.
Raffle na lang.
Thank you. So, may dalawang raffle pa uli. BP Joel.
Ipaikutin na.
Sige.
Paikutin na lang.
Paikutin. So, Eric, kaya hindi ka mag-a-avail nun?
Nasa bakasyon. Mahirapan ako. Baka nasa quarantine pa ako nun eh.
Sige.
Gusto pang magbitaw. Pag gustong bumitaw.
Ipaikot ko na yung kay Architect Eric.
Yung pangalan ko dyan. Sayang naman.
Grande, baka gusto mo.
Buong buhay ko.
Parang tinutulungan yung natin uli, Architect.
Architect
May
Marian.
raffle star yun.
Marian. Diyan pa ba si Architect Marian? Kailangan nyo nandito para
Dito pa.
Andiyan pa ba?
Andiyan pa si Architect Marian?
Say present.
Say present.
Nandyan.
I'm here.
Okay
po.
Okay
Sige.
po.
Gandang gabi, bayan.
Isa pa? Yung kay Architect Brian? Isa pa ba, Pres?
Opo, isa pa po.
Yun, Brian ulit.
James
San Jose. Andito pa ba si Architect James?
James. Say present.
Present. Wala na.
Nag-message.
Doon.
Tulog na.
Nakamute.
Asan siya?
Nandito, tabi ni
Thank you.
Okay.
Sige.
Ayan.
James.
Ito na.
Okay na.
So, okay na po. So,
Congrats.
require po namin kayo na mag-register. Don't forget to register. Sayang naman. So, yung 20 na ito, please register. Tapos sa Monday, ibibigay sa atin ni Architect Yul yung resibo. Tama ba, Architect Yul? Okay po, okay. So, yun po muna. So, don't forget yung 20 po, register. So, sila Architect Balya, Architect Pundano, Architect Artana, Architect De La Cruz, Architect Mondehar, Architect Kabatan, Architect Baredo, Architect Maningding, Architect C, Architect Estabilo, Architect Bayani, Architect Estrada, Architect Mapalad, Architect Kirona, Architect Mark Hasmin, Architect Gali Hasmin, Architect Rene Umipig, Architect James Aison, Architect Marian Relox, and Architect James Jose. Ayun po. So, proceed na po tayo, Architect Dar.
Okay, maraming salamat. Maraming salamat sa ating star
Architect Maningding, kasama ka. Di ba kita nasabi?
Nasabi na. Kasama.
Kasama ko, Pres.
Opo.
Nakasama ko.
Inib mo, Pres Dino?
Kasama si Architect Dino.
Kasama.
Nabunot siya.
Oo.
Ang 15 siya.
Ano po yan, ipopost po nila BP ang listahan na yan.
Okay, maraming salamat, Architect, sa iyong pagtsatsaga. At andito pa kayo, nakikita ko pa kahit papaano hindi inaantok, kahit nagugutom at nauuhaw.
Sa susunod, Jollibee naman daw ang parapol.
Yun! Mas maganda yun.
Masarap yun.
Mas masarap yun. Ang problema ay kung sino nag-deliver.
Yan ang problema.
Wala na akong sasakyan. Dati naman wala.
Architect,
Ay, share ko lang nga pala yung nakaraan. Pwede na to, available na, Press G, yung pinarapat natin ng webinar 8 natin.
Anong nakaraan?
Anong maganda? Yan.
Ayan. Bali, 21 lahat yan, kasama yung architect job. Dahil siya yung, sa Comelec natin. Bali, 20 yung nanalo.
Ganda niyan.
Sino ba ang mga nanalo dyan?
Meron. Ibigay ko listahan. Kasama ka dyan.
Ganun ba?
Tama din ako dyan.
Ayan, nilagay ko na lahat nung nahirapan sa logo kaya hindi ko na ibigay. Hindi nakapagpa-print.
Kala ko na
kasama pa ako dyan.
Paano nila matatanggap yan?
Ako na magdi-deliver, Press G. Siguro Sunday, simula Sunday o bukas kung may makakadaan sa akin, pwede na rin daanan.
Okay, congratulations sa mga
hanggang Sunday ma-deliver ko lahat. Yung nandito, yung sa Pilipinas, pagkasama-samahin, then ipapadala kay Architect Hill.
Ano yan? Ano yan, Architect?
Hindi, yung ano lang.
Solar panels.
Ganito.
Ano
ng cellphone.
Solar power.
Solar panel.
Habang solar
bilog
panel.
Bilog eh.
Nilagay lang.
Solar panel.
Yun.
Ganyan.
Baka mag-expect sila ng solar panel nga. Sige po, tuloy-tuloy na tayo. Tayo ay nagugutom na sila.
Tayo'y magsayawan. Okay, maraming salamat sa iyong oras, mga architect. So, proceed na po tayo. And
Kaya pala, Architect Darren, sorry bago kayo mag-alisan, magpa-picture tayo, kaya huwag kayong aalis dahil wala pang picture taking.
Marami pa to, press na nasa listahan sa akin eh. Actually, nasa kalahati pa lang tayo.
Oo, kasi nagulo yung natin program.
Kanina kasi nasa 52 tayo, biglang nawala na yung iba.
Hindi, actually yan yung press.
Yung mga bisita natin yan, mga guests natin yan. But so far, yung UAP EPC members are solid. Kapamilya na, kapuso at kapatid pa. Hindi wala pang umalis eh.
Beke naman dyan, yung Lumion seminar.
Meron. Pero kung muna, Architect Randy, kailangan mo magpa-Jollibee.
Yan.
Hindi ganun kadali ang Lumion kasi eh.
Oo.
Sa webinar, dapat talaga
Oo. Dapat physical ang Lumion talaga.
Tapos yung Revit naman.
Revit, walang problema.
Oo nga, hindi na natuloy yung Revit natin. Sige, Architect Dar, tuloy-tuloy na yung ating programa. Nasaan ka na?
Andito pa rin. Hindi, joke lang.
Or na.
Move on na tayo sa ating awarding of certificates. Let us hear what's inside the certificate. Architect Joey Salta, please do the honors.
Okay. Ako, sakit ng upang kain ako.
Teka lang, tulong mo lang yan. Tulong mo mga tayo.
Okay.
Teka lang, Architect. Share ko.
Ang bihira na. Sinempo. Yan na. Yan. Okay. Yun, present this certificate of appreciation, Architect Eric Enriquez, UAP, for the introduction to partner sponsor, Kenop Installation Company, during the UAP KSA 8 webinar via Zoom. Topic: applying the building code BP 344 accessibility law. Pre-accreditation number ARC 2009-001-111. 8 CPD units. Given this, 28th day of March 2021, Alcobar, Eastern Province, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Signed by our President, Architect Geraldine G. Swede, our Secretary, Architect Jomi Agag, our VP for Programs and Development, Architect Joel D. Agaw, and Architect Willie Kalimlim, our VP for Operation, and Architect Regalado G. Asmin, our CPD Chairman. Congrats, Architect Eric Enriquez.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next. Okay. Present this certificate of appreciation to Architect Dennis B. Angeles, UAP, for sharing his valuable knowledge as a resource speaker during the UAP KSA EPC 8 webinar via Zoom. Topic: Applying the Building Code BP 344 Accessibility Law. 8 CPD points unit. Given this 26 days, 10th day of March 2021, Alcobar, Eastern Province, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Signed, our President, Architect Geraldine G. Swede, Architect Jomi S. Agag, our Secretary, Architect Joel Agaw, our VP Programs and Development, Architect Billy Kalimlim, our VP for Operations, and Architect Regalado Asmin, our CPD Chairman. Ayun, maraming salamat, Architect Dennis B. Angeles. And certificate of appreciation to Architect Darwin L. Pondano, UAP ENP RMP, for participating as a moderator and reactor during the UAP KSA EPC 8 webinar via Zoom. Topic: Applying the Building Code BP 344 Accessibility Law. Given the 4 CPD points unit, given this 26 day of March 2021, Alcobar, Eastern Province, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Signed, our President, Architect Geraldine Swede, Architect Jomi S. Agag, our Secretary, Architect Joel D. Agaw, our VP Programs and Development, Architect Wilfredo M. Karimlim, our VP for Operation, and Architect Regalado G. Asmin, our CPD Chairman. Yun, congrats, Architect Darwin.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po. Next, wala na ba? Meron pa.
So yan po, maraming salamat po.
Ayun. Maraming salamat. Congrats po.
So I think that's our third part. So ngayon we're going to proceed sa ating calendar of activities. And congratulations sa ating mga architects and thank you for your service. In despite we are in the pandemic at limited tayo, we are able to survive and vaccinated. Joke lang. We find ways to make our chapter productive. Tama ba, architects? Congrats sa ating mga BODs. So for another year of toiling, may I call Architect Joel Agaw to present what we are going to expect for this year activities of 2021. Architect Joel Agaw, please.
Okay, thank you, Architect Darwin. Share ko lang po yung for our calendar of activities po, next month, April, we're having a 46 UAP National Convention on April 22 up to 24. And ang ating 10th General Membership Meeting is on April 30. For our 46 UAP National Convention,
maraming salamat sa iyong
ayun po.
Yun.
Okay. Ito po yung poster. Virtual Convergence, 46 UAP National Convention, April 22, 24 to 24, 2021, Fusion. So, ito po yung schedule. Kita ba? Basahin pa ba natin isa? O ipopost na ito, Architect G, sa
I-post na lang.
Just give us a brief
okay.
content.
schedule of activities. So, meron tayong NBD meeting sa April 20, Tuesday, and April 21, kasi mabasa yung... So yun, for day 1, ang ating opening advisory, April 22, opening ceremony, ang ating Archi Spotlight, CPD cluster, and convocation of fellows, parangal, investiture of new fellows, isang taon ng profesyon ng arkitekto Pilipino, welcome night. And on day 2, April 23, 2021, opening ceremony, national election, full day, CPD cluster 2, lunch event, CPD cluster 1, CPD cluster 2, cheers segment, and UAP national awards, Archinex awards, and UAP national award. So, sa ating day 3, April 24, Saturday po yan, Archi Spotlight, UAP conferment of emeritus members, and CPD Cluster 3, CPD Cluster 3 replay, annual business meeting, culminating CPD seminar, Architect 2 presentation, closing ceremony, and Kawai Fellowship Night. So, ang ating opening ceremony ay si Architect Daniel Go, ang keynote speaker, and Architect Nestor Mangio, Parangal Investiture of New Fellows, inspirational speaker. So, yun po. Ipopost po na lang to sa group. And ang registration deadline po is March 31, 2021, Wednesday. So, yun po yung registration instruction. Ipopost din po natin. So, ang ating registration fee po is 900 new NatCon, 46 participants, and 600 for UAP Fellows, UAP Emeritus Members, Senior Citizen, returning registrants. So, yung detail po, makikita niyo po sa ating group. Ayun lang po, Architect Darwin.
So, just a clarification, sir. What we expect sa CPD points pag mag-NatCon kami, magkano at ilan ang CPD na bibigay ng UAP?
Architect G,
baka sabihin naman, sir.
Hindi ako masyadong familiar dun sa ano eh.
Confirm natin yan kung magkano talaga.
Kung ilan.
Ilan ang CPD points, hindi magkano. By the way, for info lang, no, kasi hindi ako nakapag-welcome remarks kanina, no. So, we are celebrating actually the 100 years ng ating profession, yung architecture as a profession, because ito po ay na-found or nasimulan ang architecture profession noong February 23, 1921. So, naka-100 taong ano ba yun? Namamayagpag na ang arkitektura as a profession. So, congratulations sa ating lahat at tayo napabilang sa ikasandaang taon ng ating profesyon. And aside from that, ito rin po, kaya tayo po ay ngayon ay nandito, sineselebrate din po natin ang ating ika-46 founding anniversary ng UAP. So, talagang double celebration po. Kaya congrats sa ating lahat at tayo ay nagkakaroon ng double celebration despite the pandemya, no? So talagang salamat talaga sa ating lahat. At salamat sa ating 42 na nandito pa, no? At nawa ay patuloy nating suportahan ang ating profession sapagkat alam ko naman ito ay nakakatulong sa ating lahat, hindi lamang sa ating pangkabuhayang swak, di ba? Kundi sa ating pagtulong din sa iba na nangangailangan. Of course, you are helping other people, pati mga kapamilya natin na walang-wala ngayong mga panahon dahil nga pandemya, no? So talagang we are so thankful for our profession, di ba? So we are so thankful also to God for having this profession. So yon, salamat sa lahat sa Panginoon for giving us this wisdom to choose this profession. At kahit ako, aminin ko na napakalaking tulong ng profession na ito sa akin as a person and also as a breadwinner and as everything, no? So salamat sa profession na ito. Alam ko lahat kayo ay thankful din sa profession na ito. So yun, glory to God.
Amen.
Apo.
Mukhang sanay-sanay ka na sa speech, ha?
Siyempre.
Sanay na sanay. Ano ka ba? Sinanay na ako. Kaya yan, magpresidente na yung mga kailangan magpresidente. Dahil isa ito sa may tuturo sa atin na maging public speaker. So yan. So yan, salamat. So isang taon nyo pa akong pagtsatsagaan dahil wala kayong binoto na ibang presidente. So tsaga-tsaga lang sa mga kababaihan, girl power ito. Di pa actually tapos, di ba? Meron pa, di ba? Architect Dar?
Marami pa. Nasa kalahati pa lang tayo. So kung alas 4 ngayon, siguro mga alas 7 ng gabi dito.
Huwag mo silang tatakutin, architect.
Hindi, malapit na. Actually, malapit na. Maraming salamat sa ating Star for All Season President, Miss Vilma Santos.
Pwede ring nakalimutan natin. Nagulo na kasi yung kanina yung program natin. Regarding doon sa upcoming UAP, BOD natin for year 2021. So, i-post ko na lang, i-announce po ni Chairman Darwin po ang
Chairman Darwin, pakibasa mo daw po yung final list ng officers for next fiscal year.
Okay, it's an honor to present to you the following BOD for the fiscal year 2021 and 2022. Sa pong karangalan na mabanggit ang kanilang mga pangalan, tulad ng ating presidente na Star for All Season, President Architect Geraldine Swedy. Pasensya na, Architect Geraldine, minsan nagbibisaya yung pronunciation ko.
Ganyan talaga tayong mga Bicolano.
Geraldine Swedy. Yan, para suwabe.
Ganyan talaga pag makauwi na.
President. And our Vice President for Programs and Development, this is Woman Empowerment. Mga Gabriela to. Architect Emeline Abalya. Wow, hindi pa yung nagsasalita. Once na nagkaroon na ng turnover, magsasalita na yan. At hindi na yung magsasalita, sasayaw pa.
Mag-TikTok pa.
TikTok Queen and our Vice President for Operation. Walang iba kundi si Kuya Willie Kaliblim.
Magti-TikTok din.
Nakanta din yan, yes. At ang ating Star for All Season din na treasurer. Si Architect Jomi Agag.
Secretary siya.
Secretary, di ba?
Sabi mo, treasurer.
Sinabi ko secretary. Ating secretary, Architect Jomi Agag. Thank you for accepting the challenge.
Thank you.
For accepting the challenge again. And our treasurer, Architect Marlo de la Cruz. Saan ka pa? And ang ating auditor, si Architect Mario Nipomuceno. Maraming salamat, Architect, mga bagong face sa BOD. Ang ating mga Board of Directors, walang iba kundi ang mga naggagalingan, nagsisigwapuhan. Architect Mark Hasmin, Architect Dennis Willis, Architect Generoso, mali ang pagkasulat, generous na lang, Architect Generous Mingi Jr. Architect, if mayroong generous, mayroon tayong adorable. Architect Brian Adorable. Architect, ito, star din to. Palaging nagniningning kasi maningding. Architect Gary Maningding. Ang ating CPD Chairman, Architect Regalado Hasmin. And ang ating embassy, UAP Embassy sa Manila, Architect Hill Ambassador Hill Mapala. Maraming salamat.
Salamat ng marami. By the way, Architect Darwin.
Yes, ma'am.
Ito pala si Architect. Lahat kasi nag-meeting na kami, no? Meron na kami initial meeting. So lahat ay may committee na hawak. So si Architect Jean Mingi ay siya po ay ang ating Assistant Secretary. So siya po ang ating na-i-assign or na-i-appoint ng grupo.
Sino yung Assistant President?
Dalawang Assistant President, Architect Emeline and Architect Willie.
Maasahan yan.
Si Architect Mark Hasmin sa creative team, si Architect Dennis sa PPO Sports and other sports, hindi lang PPO. Si Architect Brian sa CARE, kasama siya ni Architect Willie and Architect Gary Maningding. CARES, meron na tayong UAP CARES.
Cares.
And then, si
Architect
Architect
Barayan,
Gali,
pautang ha.
salamat. Sa Architect Gali, salamat sa kanyang pag-accept pa rin bilang CPD chairman. And of course, kasama pa rin ang ating CPD team. Kasama pa rin si Architect Job dyan, syempre. Hindi pa naman siya nagde-decline. Kasi si Job Asis and the maestros. At si Architect Hill Mapalad, whether he like it or not. Ganun, ano? Si Architect Hill ay nandyan pa rin. So, salamat sa inyong mga suporta, mga architects. At yung mga gusto namang mag-volunteer din, pwede naman kayong mag-approach sa amin kung gusto nyo rin mag-assist. Kung anong saang
Pwede.
area, pwede po kayo mag-assist. So, pwede po kayong mag-present. Katulad ni Architect Eric
Kasi hindi
Enriquez.
kailangan assistance eh.
Oo, tingnan nyo si Architect Eric, salamat na marami for inviting yung ating for inviting yung ating sponsor for today. So, yung mga iba pa na meron ding mga capable of getting sponsors, so hindi lang naman responsibility ng ating mga officers yan, pwede nyo rin pong introduce sa amin na iba pang sponsors para mas maraming magbe-benefit ng ating sponsorship. So, pwede nyo pong i-approach kahit sino sa amin. So, paki-correct daw po ang surname ni Architect Mar Nepomuceno, BP Joel.
Hindi Nipo, kundi Nepo.
Excuse me.
Nepo.
Excuse me, Architect G.
Sige po.
Yes po.
Nag-ano ang USG USG Boral, nagse-seminar sila, nagbibigay sila ng ano ngayon. Naka 2 days na nga ako doon eh. Ewan ko bakit pwede tayong mag-ano doon. May mga materials silang bago.
Pwede po, kung kaya nyo po silang i-approach and pwede nyo rin po silang... Kasi nag-try po ako sa kanila last time, medyo ang sagot nila sa akin ay pandemya eh. So, they are creating their own webinar pero hindi sila nag-i-sponsor muna. Pero kung gusto nyo umattend ng mga webinar nila, pwede naman. Yun nga lang, di pa daw sila muna mag-sponsor. Pero hindi ko lang alam recently kung pwede na sila. So, yun. Yun po. Architect Dar, meron pa ba?
Yes, meron po. So, I will just clarify si PD Chairman, Architect Gali, paano po yun natin makokontak? Kasabay ba dun sa mga guest natin nag-attend ngayon, yung question and answer para sa webinar to get their certificates? You get their contacts?
Yung mga guest natin nag-ano naman sila sa akin, nagko-contact via email. So yung mga yan, kasi nakalagay kasi sa website ng UAP yung program natin ngayon, kaya nako-contact nila ako. Pero just in case na wala sila sa listahan sa email ko at nakita ko sila rito, so siguro approach na lang natin sila. I don't know how.
Okay, maraming salamat Chairman. Since andyan ka na, can you share us ano ba ang ni-expect natin for the CPD report for this year? Anong mga nakapila? Sino mga ating prospect speaker? At ano pang ni-expect natin for this CPD for this year? Can you share us? Share to us?
For this year, siguro natapos na natin yung pang-8 na to, 8 webinars. So, among to sa 8 webinars na yan, 5 yung nagkaroon ng CPD point kasi yung nakaraan una hindi pa natin kabisado how to apply for it. So, but then again, yung mga succeeding natin sa next fiscal year, siguro ang plano ko sana makapag-invite tayo sa labas ng mga speakers.
Pwede yun, Architect Gali. Yun nga lang kasi pagka sa labas, we have to expect na meron konting honoraria. So, we need to, of course, kailangan natin budgetan.
Yun nga, kaya nung nakaraang hindi ako makapag-invite sa kanila kasi nga, yun din ang iniisip ko.
Architect Gali, baka meron silang gustong topic at gustong tao na pwede nating i-approach para mag-present sa atin.
Yes, you can approach our CPD chairman if you have suggestion kung sa topic, sa tao, kung sino pa man. You can approach our chairman.
Kahit sa labas siguro ng ano natin, ng organization, sa ibang organization, siguro pwede tayo kung meron kayong kakilala, kagaya sa NAMPAP, sa IIEE, kung meron silang maiko-contribute na related sa professions natin.
May
Kaya lang,
kakilala ko sa
napapansin
NAMPAP.
ko lang.
Si Darwin.
Si Joe. Inunahan ako. Andiyan si Hill.
Kaya lang kasi napapansin ko lang kasi pagka ang pagbibigay kasi nila ng points sa CPD, depende kasi sa speaker eh. So kung architect yung speaker, napapansin namin yan, malaki ang binibigay nilang points. Lalo na depende rin sa topic. Tayo nakakakuha tayo ng malaking points compared sa mga ibang chapter, kagaya ng bigay ko na sa inyo isang example. Same topic din, palapox pa yung speaker nila, pero mas mababa yung binigay nilang points. Hindi ko alam kung bakit, kung anong nila. Pero nakakatuwa naman kasi yung mga binibigay nilang points sa atin is mataas compare sa iba. Merong mga 4 hours pero 1 point lang o 1.5 o 2. Pero tayo 3 hours. Binigyan tayo ng points.
Yun ang dapat natin samantalahin, na dapat natin pag-obserban. If you see national seminars, binibigay lang 1.5. Kung pa yan, whole day seminar. Pero ito, you should take advantage of this one. Hindi ibig sabihin na free, low quality. Hindi. Ito po ay pinaghahandaan, well-studied and prepared ang ating mga kinukuhang speaker, katulad ni Architect Dennis Angeles. Maraming salamat, kahit na pag-aralan lang natin, pero may mga bagay pa rin akong natututunan. So, we should not close our minds para sa mga bagong ideas o kahit sa lumang ideas. So, we should take advantage of this one. So, meron pa po ba, Architect Gali, sa report mo regarding CPD o okay na po yun?
Okay na siguro yun. So, ilang ang gusto kong i-send na message na kung meron kayong kakilala na gusto mag-contribute, kahit siguro mga hindi basta yung topic na ibibigay niya sa atin is related do sa profession natin, is okay siya.
Okay, so mag-isip-isip na kayo ng 1, 2, 3 para kung may mga gusto kayong interesting topic, sabihin niyo lang sa amin.
Parang nakikita ko lang architect ka Gali, parang mas maganda yung topic na yung, let's say, katulad nating mga architect na nandito sa labas, nasa Saudi Arabia o whatever, nasa ibang bansa. Bakit hindi tayo mag-invite ng mga architect na nasa Pilipinas na nagbibuild na ng business nila?
Nakapila na po yan. Oo. Nakapila na yan. Katulad ni Architect Randy Artana para sa building permit processing, ang ganyan.
How to build his own office. Si Architect Leo, siyempre, invite natin. Paano niya tayo?
Actually, nasa plano na yan. Magandang suggestion yan, Architect Randy. How to build your own office. Number 1, how to build your own office, contact an architect. Kung wala ka pang kakilala, Architect Randy, dito lang kami. Gano'n.
Para di ba?
Meron daw evaluation, Architect Randy?
Meron tayong evaluation as usual kasi CPD points to. So meron lang ako ipapadala sa inyo dalawang kailangan niyo sagutin yung dalawa na yon, yung assessment saka yung program evaluation.
And then after that, wala na dito, alam nila yon? I-email mo na lang.
Email ko na lang sila. Actually, nag-message sa akin, tinatanong nila yung assessment kung meron. Sabi ko meron. So email ko na lang sa kanila.
So, maraming salamat, Chairman. So, yung suggestion mo, Architect Randy, well noted. Maganda po yan. So, isa po yan sa iniisip namin na kumuha tayo ng mga architect na nagpa-practice sa Pilipinas para i-brief tayo, i-orient tayo. Ano bang kalakaran doon?
Kasi hindi natin alam sa ngayon kung ano yung pwede natin gawin. When it comes na kahit nandito tayo sa Pilipinas, pwede na natin mapagandaan siya in the future.
In the future?
Para sa akin, para sa akin, yun ang maganda na topic.
Okay, maraming salamat. Well noted po. So, for the membership status, for the floating, unpaid, unheard, unsettled membership status, may I call our Secretary, Jomi Agag, para i-update ng membership natin. Ako ba ay nakapagbayad na o hindi pa o sisingilin pa? Maraming salamat.
Okay. Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, fellow architects.
Good afternoon din po.
Magandang gabi sa mga nasa Pilipinas. As of now, March 2021, we have 87 active members and counting. We have fifth batch of the Ayapo renewal until April 15. So, yung mga gustong mag-update ng kanilang membership, so i-encourage po natin yung ating mga inactive members na mag-update ng kanilang Ayapoa membership. And bago mag-update, kailangan pong mag-settle muna ng kanilang dues. So, kontakin po natin ang ating mga BODs kung gusto ninyong mag-update.
So, Secretary, pwede pong malaman namin kung ano ba, ipopost lang yung status?
Sa ngayon, 87 members po yung ating active members.
Architect Randy, paki-mute po ng mic para naririnig si Architect Jomi.
I-mute ko na lang siya.
Okay, maraming salamat.
So, as of now, we have 87 active members of UAP.
Ilan po, Secretary?
87.
Ilan po yung 87?
Yes.
87. 87.
87.
So, 87. So, yung nag-attend lang ngayon is 41. Ibig sabihin, kalahati ang active talaga. So, yung kalahati, ano yun?
Bading? Joke lang.
Kasi 87 kayo. So, pag sinabi nating active, dapat andito din sila. So, pag sinabi
yan
bang
ang
nakabayad,
sinasabi
yun lang ang
natin.
active.
Tama. So, yun yung mga...
Architect Randy, paki-off ulit.
Yan. Sige, i-mute na natin.
So, yun po
Kaya
yung
nga yan
active
ang
na
ating
membership.
Architect Darwin at sa lahat, encourage nating umattend, lalo na GMM. Pang ilang GMM na natin to? GMM 9 na, di ba? So, sana naman yung 87 na yun makikita natin.
Oo. Kasi
Saka
pag,
nakumpleto, no?
ano ba yung definition ng active? Is yung nakapagbayad ka lang ng
Yun lang
dues
siguro.
mo? Active na yun? Because without attending activities of the chapter can be considered active.
As of now, Architect Darwin, yun nga ang ating ginagawa.
Anyway, maraming salamat sa 41 na nagsuporta
Kung
ngayon.
magiging mas mahigpit tayo for the coming fiscal year, pwede nating ilagay sa isang resolution na may number of attending, may number of meetings ang pagiging active. Kung yan ay mapag-agreean nating lahat para not necessarily to pay for the dues and the Ayapoa. So, kasi ngayon, medyo naging maluwag lang tayo because of pandemic. But we can make a resolution further kung meron tayo sa next fiscal year natin. Kung gusto nyo mag-suggest na kailangan merong limit ang ating attendance to meetings to be an active member. So, yung 87 na yan, nandun yan actually lahat sila sa GC. Doon sa create natin na group chat, di ba, Arksec? So, imposible na hindi nila nakikita tong ating mga pinag-uusapan na webinar and GMM. So, nandun sila lahat sa GC na yon, yung 87 na active.
So I think there is no more excuse or alibi kasi pinasimple lang ngayong webinar na lang. You just need laptop, internet, then class. Hindi mo na kailangan pumunta ng IPSA.
Correct. Yun ang medyo disappointing.
Maganda nga dito eh.
So minimum 2.
Gusto yata nila sa IPSA eh.
So
anyhow, magiging natin yan, Architect Dar, at kung mag-a-agree ang lahat din, magkakaroon tayo ng next fiscal year, magkakaroon tayo ng minimum number of attendance to GMM and meetings. So, isi-set natin yan sa simula pa lang sa June. So, para alam nila na need nilang umattend ng GMM at webinar para sila ay maging active. And actually, I want to congratulate yung mga nasa Pilipinas. Despite yung ating 5 hours difference, lalo sila Jeffrey C, si Jeffrey C, matagal ko na siya nakikita kahit nasa Pinas siya, no? Mula sa simulan, ma-attend. Sila Architect Rommel, sila Architect Louis, sino pa ba yung mga nasa, si Architect Marian. So, ano lang, encourage lang talaga at saka disiplina lang din dahil profession natin ito, hindi naman ito para sa amin din. Para sa inyo to na para sa ating lahat. Dahil kailangan din natin ang mga katulad nitong mga webinars and activities.
So, actually, pinasimplin na nga eh. Hindi na tayo pinahirapan kahit sa mga seminars. Kung kailan libre na, wala na tayong babayaran. Dati nagrereklamo tayo sa CPD kasi ganyan, pupunta pa lang hotel, pupunta pa lang Maynila, gagastos pa, ganyan. Ngayon libre na. So, tingin ko ang problema wala na sa organization, kundi ang problema nasa sa atin na.
Correct. Very well said.
Sa totoo lang, lahat ng suporta binibigay naman natin. Kasi meron ako mga natin na webinar, may bayad yun pero wala sila binibigay ng mga handouts o materials na magsusuporta doon sa ano nila. Dito lang natin, pagka nag-webinar tayo ng libre, binibigay natin sa kanila yung mga kung ano meron tayong information.
Saka may parapol pa.
Kumbaga, ando na yung suporta natin eh. So, may parapol pa. Ando na yung suporta natin eh. So, dapat in return, ano naman sila
siguro at the end of the year or bago matapos ang fiscal year, titingnan namin yung mga attendance. Meron tayong best in attendance. Sila, yung ating mga BPs, meron tayong linulutong awards night. So, titingnan natin talaga yung hindi nagpapakita at yung nagpapakita. Makikita natin yan sa ating listahan, mahiwagang listahan.
Bali, sige.
Press yung yung awards, wag niyong ira-raffle, si Jeffrey na naman mananalo.
Oo nga. Hindi ka pa nawala sa nanalo.
Wala pa nga natatanggap yung press niyo puro nananalo pero wala natatanggap.
Proceed na tayo sa next program kasi ang iba sa atin hindi pa nag-lunch kasi nag-start tayo.
Kaya nga, sige, go. Architect
Okay, para wag na natin patagalin pa, let us call ang ating treasurer, Architect Ronald Estrada, para sa ating millions of finances report. Okay? Sa ating auditor, Architect Joey Salta. So, ilan ba ang billion natin dyan?
Architect Ronald. Yan.
Yun. Ito pala yung nawawalang 15 billion.
Ang laki.
Good afternoon again, fellow architects na nandito sa Saudi Arabia at magandang gabi sa mga architects na kasama natin sa Pilipinas. Clear ba ako? Clear?
Clear.
Malinaw na malinaw. Okay.
Ginibrang hari.
Okay, from the previous month, February, meron po tayong running balance na
hindi naka-present, Architect Ronald.
Architect, hindi nakikita yung call mo.
Wala ba?
I-click mo ulit.
Open.
Wala pa rin.
Wala pa rin.
Ulitin mo ulit.
Baka wala ng pundo, kaya ayaw magpakita.
Habang inaayos niya yan, gusto kong i-welcome sila Architect Ilan Ibarra. First time ko ikaw nakita dito, Architect Ilan. Dito ka rin pala sa KSA, EPC. Sorry, hindi kita marinig.
Yes, Yambo ko pero Western Region.
Sa Western, kay JM?
Oo, pero sa Yambo base ako.
Okay. Welcome
Architect. Welcome to our family.
Welcome po.
Okay na po ba yung screen ko? Naka-share na?
Hindi pa. Nakikita lang yung
wala pa.
Paki-open mo.
And also,
screen ka ba?
Yun! Lumabas
Lumabas lahat. Lumabas lahat ng
Circuit-
ano.
Circuit
Architect
na rin ang
Ronald,
lumabas.
meron ako yung kay Architect Joey kung gusto mo.
Asan si
Share ko
Architect
yun.
Ronald?
Parehas lang ba yun?
Ganun.
Kailangan magkaiba yung ano.
Okay na?
Oo, dahil sa audit eh.
Wala pa Architect Ronald.
Folder lang pinapakita mo. Naka-dual screen ka ba? Hindi.
Hindi.
Bakit nawawala yung...
Labas muna,
Bakit
click mo
kaya?
muna uli.
Pwede mo namang sabihin na lang kung ano.
Minimize mo na lang yung ano, yung pinaka-folder niya.
Wala pa rin talaga.
Ayan na, okay na.
Ayan na.
Okay na?
Million nga.
Million nga.
Million.
Okay. From the
Pwede
balance of
tayo
previous
kumuha
month.
ng ano ng sponsor, ng speaker.
Pwede. Bakit hindi? Press. Okay.
Sabihin yung billion, baka mamay patawag na naman.
Oo.
Okay, from the balance of previous month, February, meron po tayong running balance 7,512.63. This month, meron po tayong collection dito, care of Architect Joey Salta na 300 reals. Monthly collection dues na 240 plus daya po collection of 60 reals galing doon sa isang member natin. At the same time, meron po tayong expenses na dito sa natin, Zoom natin. Tapos may expenses din tayo na 110 Saudi reals para dito sa raffle draw natin care of Architect Joel. Meron din po tayong collection this month care of Architect Hill. Itong amount 871.52. Ayaw po collection care of Architect Hill 120 Saudi reals. Meron din po expenses doon sa Pilipinas 42.92 Saudi reals at saka webinar expenses care of Architect Hill ulit na 7.69 Saudi reals. As of now, meron po tayong running balance na 8,578.89. I-share ko lang din po yung information kung nasaan itong amount na to. Almost 80% ng amount nasa Pilipinas dahil nga nagkaroon tayo ng problema rito tungkol doon sa pagtransfer sa STC account ko. So napag-agreehan po ng BOD na i-transfer na lang kay Architect Hill. Kaya lahat ng mabayad or mostly ng mga bayad is kay Architect Hill bumabagsak. So yan lang po ang pwede kong i-share at gaya nga ng sabi ni Press G na i-encourage natin yung mga ibang members natin na umattend ng ganitong mga webinars natin. Especially yung mga inactive gaya ng isang kasama natin although hindi naman siya rito, hindi naman siya member. Dati siyang member dito sa Eastern Province, si Fortaleza ba yun? Nasa Alasa. Nagko-convince siya ng mga inactive member na mag-active ulit. So, galing sa kanya, meron tayong dalawa na inactive na ngayon is nag-settle ng payment nila. So, in the first place, nakatulong yung nakatulong isang member natin na at least nakapagpa-active ng mga inactive na member. So yun lang ang pwede kong i-share at back to you, Mr. Darwin.
Wow, may effect na.
May effect pa.
May palakpak pa.
Ibig sabihin kasi, a job well done. Ang palakpak na yun ay para sa atin lahat. Kasi nakita ko sa report ng Architect Ronald, despite ng pandemic, we are able to gather such amount. So, 8,000, di ba? At
8,000.
salamat tayo sa sakripisyo ng Architect Ronald dahil dyan ay muntika na siyang matulog sa kulungan. So, at least naayos naman. At maraming salamat. So far, we are doing good, mga architects. So, we are 41. Thank you sa ating mga matitibay na 41 na from 1 o'clock up to now ay andyan pa rin. At yung iba nagpapasimple na nakapikit at nagugutom na. Tulad ko. So ngayon, I would like to give a chance to Architect Brian, one of the board of directors, to share about the code and standards, what we're going to expect also na part ng ating CPD. So bago tayo mag-closing remarks, after this one, we'll proceed to closing remarks. So be ready, Architect Brian, Architect Gary Maningding for your closing remarks after Mr. Brian. Okay, Architect Brian, please. Oh, meron pa pala, ano yan?
Architect
Sa audit report.
Sorry. Okay, Architect Joey Salta.
Maraming salamat po, Architect Darwin. Magandang gabi, saka magandang hapon.
Okay, pasensya na po.
Ito yung kambal po ng ni Architect Ronald. Itong nga po natin, tulad ng nasabi niya kanina, yung previous balance po natin for the month of February is meron po tayong 7,512.63 Saudi Riyal. At yung mga pumasok po sa cash po natin, with a total of yun, ito po yung 1,291.52. Ito po yung monthly dues collection na worth 240. Tapos Iapowa collection, dito po yon sa Saudi Arabia, 60 Riyals. At saka yung mga monthly dues collection po, care of Architect Hill, 871.52. At saka yung Iapowa collection, 120 Riyals. With a total of po yon, 1,291.52. Ang total po cash po noon, lahat ng pumasok, kung ipa-plus po natin yung previous balance po natin nung last February ay 8,804. Tapos ito yung pong mga natin, yung mga disbursements made, ito po yung mga lumabas po sa kaban po natin. Ito po yung standard proofs of payment sa noong February 6465 care of Press G. At saka yung gift po nung webinar po natin sa mga raffle draw natin, yung 110. Tapos yung fair LBC po 42.92 at saka yung mga webinar expenses CO Architect Hill 7.69 with a total of yun po yung cash na lumabas po sa kaban natin is 225.26. So
ang laki.
Laki. 225 yan.
Balance.
Yun. Lang yun yung lumabas sa natin. Tapos, ang total po noon, 8,804 minus natin ng yung 225 pala, ayun po, 8,578.89 Riyals.
Okay.
Ayun, maraming salamat po.
Auditor.
Opo.
Palakpakan sa ating finance team.
Maraming salamat, Architect Joey Salta. Mukhang hindi ko nakita doon sa report mo. Yung hindi nakasama doon yung binili nating lupa sa Davao.
Ayun.
Joke lang. Sa UAP National yan, hindi yan. Ang binili natin yung sa Paso.
Darwin, may pahabol lang
sige, habol.
Sa natin, sa directory natin. So, yun po. Yung mga hindi pa po nakakapag-submit ng picture, bali may ginagawa pong directory si Sec Jones and ito po yung nilayout ni BP Willie po. Papalitan po kasi natin yung cover photo natin. So, encourage po na lahat mag-submit. Kung makita niyo yung mga picture niyo dito, yung iba dito mga grab lang, kaya kung hindi niyo medyo gusto at meron kayong mas okay na picture, pwede niyo i-send uli para mapalitan. And yung iba pa dito na nag-send kay Sec Joms, hindi pa na-update, so idadagdag pa po dito yon. So
actually, BP Joel, ang advice ko diyan, yung 87 na active, dapat sila yung nakalagay diyan.
Kulang pa po ito, press. Hindi pa po
encourage natin yung 87 kasi may nakikita akong hindi naman ewan ko. Pero kasi yung mga past presidents, pwede natin sila ilagay as separate. Na para kahit na hindi na sila dito pero past presidents sila, lalagyan natin sila dun sa ilalim. Kasi I know may mga presidente na past presidents na hindi na yata member.
Maganda pakinggan yung past president, wag lang yung past saway.
Sige po, press.
So, ang suggestion ko lang, kasi ito parang Wall of Fame for the 87 active. Naka-question na nga tayo doon sa 87, no? But then, yung pa rin naman ang ating, for this fiscal year, 87 active members. So, I want to see yung 87 dito para ma-encourage lang na meron tayong 87 members na active, supposedly. So, dapat yung mga nandito, 87 talaga na active as per listahan ni SEC. Ngayon, kung gusto nating i-add yung mga presidents na past dito, pwede naman po sa ilalim. Kasi may mga past presidents na alam ko hindi na member. So, pwede natin sila ilagay dito sa ilalim bilang respeto din naman sa kanila dito sa ilalim.
Sa itaas?
Siguro, Pres, ganito na lang. Lahat ng presidente, kahit active man o hindi siya member, ilagay sa baba, yung active, kasama pa rin siya sa taas.
Kayo, kung kaya niyong magawa yung ganun. Kayo po.
Sige, pag-isipan po namin,
Hindi
Pres.
kasi parang merong premium ang pagiging active eh. Kasi
Lagyan mo na
kung halimbawa, lahat naman pala, pwede naman pala eh. Ay, nandun pa rin pala ako. Pwede naman pala kahit wala naman pala ako, no? So parang pare-parehas lang. So bigyan natin ng premium yung talagang mga active. For example, kung halimbawa itong 40s na to, nasa upper part sila ng listahan, ganyan. So yung active na 40, nasa taas sila. Din yung mga hindi so much active na sumabit dun sa 87, dun sila sa lower. Ibig sabihin premium tayo para ma-encourage lang na yun lang yung akin din naman.
Pres, ang suggestion ko, lahat ilagay tapos lagyan ng X yung hindi active.
parang ano eh, no? Parang kriminal.
Hindi,
lagyan na lang lagyan na lang ng frame yung mga picture ng mga active.
Pwede rin. Kayo, ano suggestion nyo pala? Para
Okay, sa akin yung mga active na matingkad yung kulay. Tapos yung mga inactive, yan na natin, yung brightness nila.
Dapat black and white.
Yung picture may gold frame.
Gray out.
Kawawa yung magle-layout. Si BP Willie
Para,
magle-layout.
oo nga. At least, alam natin yung mga inactive.
Sige, Pres, natin.
Pag-usapan na lang natin.
Pag-usapan natin. Babaguhin na lang natin, then papa-check natin sa BOD po.
50%
lang po.
lang yung hindi active.
O kaya yung hindi active, malabo.
Oo nga, gano'n. Parang gano'n yung
Sige, titignan natin.
Sige, parang lang kasi yan na Hall of Fame ba? Para sa mga active members. Para naman.
Tapos yung palagi nananalo sa raffle draw, yun.
Tatay Joey. Ikaw, Tatay Joey, ha? Si Architect Antana yun eh.
May bumulong daw dito yung hindi daw active nakatalikod, yung mga active nakaharap.
Ang bihira.
Hirap nga kumuha nung nakaharap eh. Patalikod pa kaya.
May nagsuggest watermark daw. Naka-watermark. Sa Architect Hira. Naka-watermark and active.
O kaya yung picture maliit, yung active malalaki ang mukha.
Sige, Architect Darwin.
Emoji na lang, emoji.
Sige, go tayo. Meron pa ba?
Yes, meron pa tayo. Salamat Architect Joey Salta sa audit report.
Okay po.
So, bigyan naman natin pagkakataon si Architect Brian, ating isang board of directors for the code and standards. Before tayo mag-closing remarks, habang hinahanda ni Architect Gary ang kanyang sarili para sa closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Architect. Actually, talagang gusto ko magpahabol nito kasi yung building codes, standards, dito na B4, kumbaga malapit to sa puso. For the past 11 years, 10 years, 11 years sa Saudi Arabia, na-engage ako ng I think 6 to 7 years sa codes and standards. So talagang na-appreciate yung kahalaga, importante, how beneficial it is to have these codes and standards in our project. At nakikita ko dito sa Saudi na mataas yung percentage ng Hello? Naputol ba ako?
Inayos ko lang, nag-e-echo. Okay na, Architect Brian?
Okay.
Okay. Proceed. Saan ba ako? Yun nga, yung percentage ng implementation dito sa Saudi Arabia, mataas. In fact, sa lahat ng projects na na-engage ako, talagang as much as possible, ini-implement namin yung codes and standards, yung Saudi Building Code, International Building Code, yung ADA, American with Disabilities Act, yung katumbas ng BP 344 natin. However, pag naisip ko yung sa ating beloved Philippines, it's so frustrating to know na yun nga, mababa, the codes and standards are loosely implemented. Tulad nga ng sabi ni Architect Dennis kanina na yung merong 10 inspection ba yun, tapos wala man lang pumasa dun sa kung ano man yung in-inspect nila. Kasi nga, napakahina ng implementations ng mga codes and standards na to. Kaya I just feel like it's my calling and our calling as architects na if we get the chance na magkaroon ng project sa Pilipinas, and I guess Architect Dino nasisimulan na niyang maraming projects ngayon. So I guess ma-incorporate natin talaga yung codes and standard kahit pa sabihin ng may-ari na ay wag na yan kasi ano yan, dagdag gastos pa yan. So I hope as architects we will have that mentality na talagang sundin natin kung ano yung nararapat when it comes to sa itong mga standards na to. At I strongly believe na yung quality ng work or quality ng design are those works or design na that are done even if nobody is watching. So yun lang po ang gusto kong i-advocate sa ating lahat as architects, and I know we all have the same sentiment. And hopefully, as architects, let us be the change that we want to see in the world. Maraming salamat.
Okay! Maraming salamat, Architect Brian, sa ating sound effect para magising naman kayo at mabago. So, bago tayo magtapos, let us hear the golden voice of Architect Gary Manhingding as he gave his closing remarks for our GMM 46 founding anniversary and webinar.
Right, ang paborito ng lahat. Favorite portion. Ano, goodbye na ba?
Okay na, clear.
Okay na. Anyway, papasalamat tayo sa lahat ng mga dumalo sa ating 8 webinar tsaka 9 GMM, sa mga 40 participants, especially sa Pilipinas. Shout out sa inyong lahat. And of course, kay Architect Dennis Angeles at sa kanyang napakagandang presentation sa kanyang BP344 webinar. And of course, kay Architect Gali na laging nandyan para sa ating mga CPDs. Nang dahil sa kanya, nagkakaroon tayo ng mga webinars na ganito. At sana tuloy-tuloy pa rin hanggang sa susunod na BODs fiscal year 2021 to 2022, which is kami-kami na naman yon. Nakita ko yung pangalan ko, Architect G. Anyway, sana supportahan nyo kami lagi at asahan nyo na gagawin namin yung lahat ng makakaya namin. And of course, gaya ng sinasabi namin lagi-lagi na encourage natin yung mga kasama rin natin. So yung 40 or 45 participants maging 60 later on sa mga susunod na pagtitipon-tipon ulit natin. And again, thank you very much sa mga kasama natin na laging sumusuporta sa atin. And yun lang. And thank you. Above all, thank you Lord kasi naging successful yung webinar at saka GMM natin. Alright! Let's rock! Back to you, Architect Darwin. Mukhang maalaala mo kaya yung ano.
Nakaka-touch. Maraming salamat.
Yes.
Architect Gary sa iyong nakaka-touch na closing remarks.
Salamat, Architect Gary. Ay, by the way, I'd like to thank you pala yung ating mga bagong balik. Katulad si Architect Alfred Mondehar. Hindi natin na-recognize, no, yung mga bagong balik. Architect Alfred Mondehar. Sino pa ba yon? Yung mga lumang bago. Sila yung mga lumang bago. Andiyan din si Architect James. O, di ba?
Yes.
Yes, Architect James is in the house. Yan. At kasama natin, of course, yung taga Jeddah sa group ni CPJM. At si Architect Jude Gador, nandiyan pa rin. Si Architect Marlon Delok. Salamat na marami sa inyo, mga Team Pilipinas. Architect Romel.
Architect Louie.
Sabilo. Siyempre, salamat sa mga Team Kobar at Team, wala yung Team Riyadh. And wala si Architect Lat, no? Nasa Pilipinas.
Nasa bakasyon si Architect Lat.
Oo. So yun, yung mga hindi ko nabanggit, salamat na marami sa inyong lahat. Team Kobar.
Oo. Maraming salamat sa 40, 41, 42 na bigay ng kanyang
Picture
oras.
taking muna, Architect Dar. Yung mga nakaharap
Bago
kasi
tayo
sa
mag-picture
picture namin
taking,
kanina.
bago tayo mag-picture taking, baka magalit sa akin. I would like to call Architect Nepo, tama ba yan? Nepo Museno for the closing prayer. Bago tayo
Yes.
bago tayo mag-picture taking. Thank you.
Alright.
Architect Nep? Unmute mo po.
Nasaan si Architect Mar?
Yan. Salamat muli mga fellow architects, no, sa isang matagumpay na ating webinar and meeting. So tayo po yun po sa presensya ng Panginoon. Hallelujah. Tunay nga Panginoon, maraming salamat muli Panginoon sa araw na ipinagkaloob mo sa bawat isang naririto. Tunay nga Panginoon ang katagumpayan na ipinagkaloob mo sa amin para sa lahat ng mga arkitekto rito sa Saudi Arabia na pinagpala ng Panginoon ang aming araw na kami nakatunghay ng panibagong pag-aaral Panginoon, panibagong kaalaman para sa aming larangan ng aming profesyon. Tunay nga Panginoon, salamat sa mga ginamit mong mga miyembro Panginoon magmula sa aming presidente, gayon din sa aming mga board of directors, mga officers na gumaganap para sa aming association na ito. Salamat Panginoon sa oras na pinagkaloob mo sa bawat isa, na naging matagumpay po ang aming gawain na ito Panginoon. At alam po namin Panginoon sa oras na ito, lagi niyo po kaming sasamahan sa mga plano ng aming chapter Panginoon at patuloy mong pasiglahin ang aming chapter sa mga darating pang semis. Tunay nga Panginoon sa aming paghiwa-hiwalay, kayo po ang nanguna sa buhay ng bawat isa at gabayan kami sa aming araw-araw na pangangailangan at dalangin namin o Diyos na kayo po ang aming masumpungan sa lahat ng oras. Maraming salamat Panginoon. Ito po ang aming samot dinangin sa pangalan ng mga anak ng Jesus na aming Panginoon at tagapagligtas. Amen.
Amen.
Yan, maraming salamat
Amen.
Architect Mar. So picture taking na tayo.
Harap na kayo sa camera.
At least we are able to manage our time from 1 o'clock. Hindi tayo lumampas ng 5 o'clock
5
for activities, di ba? Congratulations,
Okay.
architects. Okay, smile.
Architect Gali, hindi ka nakikita.
Oh, please turn on your cameras because we're going to submit this to PRC.
Opo,
Your code?
stop muna yung chat para hindi natin masama yung chat nyo. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile, page 1. Okay, saglit lang. Page 1 yun. Hindi ko alam kung nasang page kayo. Dali lang po. Okay, page 2. Page 2, smile. Architect Ronald, di ka nakikita. Architect Michael Kabatan. Architect Bong Salanguste, andiyan ka po ba? Wala kayong picture. Architect Bong. Okay, smile. Okay, congratulations. Salamat po sa lahat.
Okay, maraming salamat architect sa inyong pagtsatsaga, sa inyong moderator, sa ating host, sa inyong pakikinig at maligayang safe na gabi sa atin na nasa Pilipinas.
I feel good. Wala bang ganon?
I feel good! Meron! Tangi na.
Okay na. Salamat. Ayaw pa maghiwalay.
Salamat. Thank you po.
Thank you.
Salamat.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Salamat daw po.